And the shield versus TB makes this game so hard. I mean, I guess you could pick up the what's the new item, Disperser. You could take that. That gives a purge now for the shield, or like maybe an early nullifier on one of these other heroes. I think you actually, like when Lich is strong, you kind of have to go nullifier against the Frost Shield.
Yeah, like
if that ability is really broken.
It depends on the game, right? If like the Frost, if you're mainly relying on your physical damage, you need to get a purge. Yeah. But the spell is really strong and buffed multiple times.
No stuns so far on Talon.
Yeah.
That's something to think about, isn't it?
Oh boy.
That's exactly what's happening right now. But this partner pick is very interesting. I guess they're also keeping it flex between multiple roles. The Kotl is most times being played on the 4 position right now. I assume that's going to be a Matthew Kotl. Actually, also Jabs can play it on the offlane, correct? So.
I feel like Jabs either first phases his hero, like the Underlord or something, if they get their hands on it, or he just last picks his hero. I refuse to believe any of these are a Jabs hero.
I mean, it could be Kotl, it could be Faulkner, you don't know. That's a funny thing about this team, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they go with the Void Spirit. It's basically the next mid that comes to mind after Pangolier. It's not the easiest to counter mid, even though it can have some tougher matchups. I was thinking it's going to be the Void Spirit, maybe the Ember Spirit with the Kotl. Now they got the lockdown solved a bit. It's not particularly good against the Underlord roots, but it's pretty good against the supports. You can probably, most of the time, just solo kill those.
How's the Batrider matchup against Void Spirit?
You mean if EG will pick the Batrider now?
If they pick the Batrider.
There you go. Yeah, it actually happened.
Good call, Andrew.
It's pretty interesting. Like, the Batrider got significant changes to the last patch, and
Sorry, he doesn't like when I call him Andrew.
My mom calls me Andrew. That's it, dude. My dad calls me Jenkins, bro.
Thank you, Andrew. So
Go ahead.
I think the Batrider matchup is not really fully figured out yet. I think it got a bit like... It's different. It deals less damage. It has now a 5-second slow in the mid lane, though, so the enemy has to play a bit more careful. I think it's still playable for the Void Spirit, so it's hard to tell. What's funny about this is that the EG even keeps... It's probably a mid Batrider, but they could still flex it with the Underlord to the offlane if they wanted to.
I mean, we've seen Batrider picked up a lot against Terrorblade in lane. Some games it's not gone so well, because I think people are still figuring out this new bat.
Yeah, it's like all the new numbers change so much. Yep. But I like EG's draft a lot so far. I think other than the lane, I think it's a very good Batrider pick.
I got a couple of questions for you guys. Are EG lacking in both building damage and physical damage in general? Is that something they need to be concerned about?
Yeah, they are lacking. It's kind of weird because a lot of these drafts we have the conversation of like building damage, and it comes around to like kills give so much gold nowadays. It's more important to just be able to take good fights.
I agree with that. Yeah.
People. So I'm not overly concerned. I do want to see them pick up a carry here at the end that will just be like there. Okay, we're walking down mid now. I want them to be able to take Roshan, because even if they can't take like towers or whatever, you need to be able to take Roshan. You want to be able to fight around the pit and then take it.
I agree with that. I think Roshan is significant. I feel like, from what I'm seeing in all like the pro level pubs and these games that obviously we've been watching since Dream League, building damage like barely matters now. Because eventually like your carry gets enough items that they will take buildings no matter what carry they are, but you need to take Roche. Like Roche is still a very important objective.
Yeah, exactly. Roche and the Tormentor got up in the list, and the Wisdom Runes. The tier 2 got way less significant. Basically in the past, the tier 2 was like a big objective you want to take to get the outpost, to get the XP advantage and this stuff, and there was less objectives on the map, right? So I think building damage is still important, but yeah, less than last patch you could say, I guess. But yeah, definitely they need some sort of carry that deals physical damage on EG in the end. I love the bans from Talon. I think PL and Stark are insanely strong heroes right now. And of course, PL always used to be a counter pick to the TV. So those bans make a lot of sense, especially because EG has the ultimate last pick. And yeah, now Talon basically has to decide what they want to do with their last pick. They can pick a 3, they can pick a 4, and they can pick a 5. They got things quite open. And they don't know what they're laning against. So this is... You got so many options here. It can kind of be a blessing, and sometimes can be quite a curse as well.
Hey, he'll just pick a Venomancer and call it a day. It's kind of, I look at Talon's lineup and I see Void Spirit as like the only guy that can really jump in or even get to a backline. I don't think it's easy to kind of cover that area with your offlaner to be able to jump with him. Maybe it's better to just strengthen what you currently have, which is a big ball of big meta Terrorblade plus Pugna heal plus Kotl heal, and just make him as powerful as he can so you can go and take any objective you want and can't be stopped.
Yeah, I feel like Jabs is just gonna ask for Magnus. I don't know. It looks like he's enjoying playing it a lot. It's looked pretty good. I feel like it's good with TB. Void Spirit, people are building this like Echo Saber Desolator, so it's maybe all right with him, but we'll see. I mean,
he played it against PSG in that game, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Magnus.
It's just a read on like how much he is enjoying it as a player, and I know that does, you know, play into drafting, especially when it's Jabs.
There it is.
Oh, there you go. I mean, there you
Andrew,
are.
you're on a fucking
Damn,
roll,
Jackie's in
my
his
man.
brain, bro.
I don't know, dude. It's just Dota players, man. This is the way she goes.
I know what's going to be interesting is what EG actually pick into this, right? They got every option in the game. Basically, the illusion heroes are already banned. Gotta think. He played CK.
There's like Sven, but it's kind of rough to play like a purely physical damage hero into like Pugna, because you could at least go for some physical damage that buys like a Maelstrom, and then you have mixed damage.
Yeah, honestly, not. I don't see the most obvious pick yet.
What about something like a Drow? We've seen some people play it, I think, in the tournament so far, but not a popular pick. But would it be bad here?
The hero really lost popularity, and it doesn't really pair up with the Lich too well. You want a hero that can go in and abuse the offensive potential the Lich gives you in the laning stage, so I would assume that EG is more looking towards a melee hero. Just not easy to tell what it is. There's like something like a Troll Warlord, not particularly good against Pagana and Portal, though, because against Kite.
There's crit!
Crit?
Yeah, I saw crit in the background.
Oh, hi Crit.
Zooming right in on that bit of paper. Enhance.
See the molecules.
Bloodseekers RPL is
I mean, like, okay.
Void.
Avoid, yeah, that's a meta hero.
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw that they played it in the past. I feel like the main times we've seen it this tournament in general have just been into like the Medusa from Nine Pandas, but this still works. They don't have like the biggest amount of damage for the Chrono, but it's still like, you're gonna throw a Lich Ult in there.
It's
good.
alright.
little lich ult
okay.
going on. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't mind it too much. I think it's pretty decent. I think he will get Chrono out of in modern fights, and he has like 3 heroes who can deal decent damage into it. There's no save.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great time dilation game too. Like,
Yeah.
Caudle, when he uses his blast, for some reason you get 2 time dilation.
Do you
for that.
actually?
Yeah, because it counts as like 2 spells.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
With that being said, the dispel value on Talon got insanely high. They can purge all Bad Rider spells, they can purge time dilation, and like all the Underlord stuff.
I'm just thinking, do you think they have enough damage? Like, say there's a Terrorblade in a Chronosphere, and Pugna and Caudle are not in the Chronosphere. Do you think they can get through like the heal that's going to come out on that side?
I think so. I think
Okay.
besides all of this being said, I think it's still an insanely good Bad Rider game.
Right.
They are putting the Bad Rider off in the Underlord mid. Okay, I did not expect that, to be honest. Okay, now that changes things quite a bit. I would have liked the Bad Rider out of mid. Yeah, not too sure. Like, this offlane on Bad Rider might be a bit spooky. I didn't see it too much yet. But
I mean,
It is Whisper Bat Rider.
Whisper's very comfortable on the hero.
yeah, they were first picking Whisper Batrider, getting completely hard countered, and then he was somehow getting kills on it for the last few tournaments. So seeing a late phase Batrider for EG makes me really confident for them.
Okay.
His late game is insanely good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. We're going to go now to our casters, Sunsfan and Cinderin. Have a good one, chaps.
Thank you, Pyrian Flax. Shout out to Pyrian Flax as always, Cinderin. We have EG versus Talon. We got South America versus SEA. Wow, that is an intense and very disturbing look from you, my friend. This is going to be hype. One team goes home, one team continues on. Very similar playstyles that the panel has eloquently talked about, Cinderman. Should be pretty hype.
Yeah, it's I would say the 2 lineups are pretty different in style, right? So on one side you have an offlane Magnus, which is a pretty slow and, you know, a hero that needs to build up over time, whereas the other one is way more explosive with the Whisper Bat Rider. We've seen this guy on Bat take over games completely, and he's no stranger to the Bat against Terrorblade matchup. However, in this tournament, some of the times when we see that matchup, it hasn't really gone that well for Bat. We had a game earlier on where Zai was playing Bat together with Boxy's Nyx, and they didn't really win their lane against Terrorblade +1. I think there's been another instance as well. It doesn't exactly come to mind which players it was, but the Bat against Terrorblade will be my lane to watch, because if Bat gets ahead in this game, in this lane, he can just completely snowball off it. I think most of his matchups are really good. Whereas when this hero falls behind, it has a tendency to become a liability. So let's see if Whisper for EG can have a good start. And on the other side, Talon, I think they just need time, right? Their support duo Pugna Caudle, not too much playmaking, but a little bit on the slower side, playing together with Magnus. So for them, I'm looking for Mikoto to really take some action from mid.
And winner of this series faces off against OG tomorrow. And I mean, looking at this game, I mean, did you have a favorite going into the series before the drafts came to be?
I think it's really close. I mean, EG looked really great against Shopify Rebellion. That was a very one-sided series, so I feel like they've leveled up a little bit over the last couple days. But so have Talon. I just think the level of play now is rising quite significantly, and it makes sense. Now the teams are getting more adjusted to the metagame, to the itemization and everything. So you would expect it to get a little bit more streamlined.
A battle for the Southern Rune is upon us. Big blinding light comes out. Q will be able to take that relatively easily. And most of the damage applied to EG on this side. But yeah, both teams coming into the playoffs, they were kind of lower end of their groups, barely making it in some cases, but they are definitely starting to get more acclimated to the patch and to the meta. Of course, it does help being able to survive and then copy teams that are doing better than you, right? I mean, even Team Liquid has been struggling a bit, so no shame at all.
Yep. Stealing strats in Dota is a viable strat in itself.
That's
so
right.
It's it's allowed. It's not frowned upon. You can't own a hero. You wouldn't download a hero.
If you're Kunkka, you can, because it was literally named after him. That's another story.
That is true.
So Underlord versus the Void Spirit, not a matchup we get to see all too often. And I assume that this is just going to be mostly a farm fest for the first few minutes.
Yeah.
How much kill potential do you see actually happening in this lane?
Nothing without support rotation.
Nothing.
It's like, how is either of these heroes going to kill the other, right? Like, Underlord can throw down a Firestorm and attack a couple of times. I will say, though, I think, theoretically speaking, this is a very Underlord-favored lane, though, but he's not going to win by killing his opponent. He's just going to win on last-hit damage. See, the Underlord is always, in most melee versus melee matchups, he's just going to rack up the Atrophy Aura damage, and then he's going to deny. On top of that, he obviously has the negative aura for the opponent, so Mikoto will be relying a lot on CSing with Resonant Pulse. Should be okay here on Q.
Okay,
maybe
Paz
not.
wants to go in deep, but the blinding light from Q should be enough to
Yes, Tango. Okay.
get that gap there.
Yep.
They'll live through the time dilation.
And as they mentioned, I believe they mentioned this on panel, Illuminate is a very special spell because it has a hidden secondary component called Release, I believe. So when you get time dilated, it actually gives you 2 stacks when Illuminate's on cooldown. Regardless of whether you're in spirit form or not. So, like, not really going to be the biggest of deals up here because I don't think realistically you're going to see Q skill Illuminate until level 4. Most calls we've seen have gone 0-1, or in some cases 0-1-2 if they're playing with a laner that really benefits from Chakra. But the thing in this lane is, if you're playing a spam strategy with Magnus, every level 2 shockwave he throws on the Void, he's just going to time walk and negate a ton of the damage. So it's a lot of merit to this pick from Pakaz. First of all, the laning stage should be easy against Mag, and secondly, you're one of the carries that can survive RP. If you don't get burst 100 to 0, you get to reset position and health, and you can fight straight back. But so far, the early stage is going well for Talon, especially bot.
What do you think about Void in this patch in the late game? Because we've seen it in like a lot of the past patches as well. Has anything changed, or is he still the absolute beast from the past?
He's definitely a beastly late gamer. The challenge is to get there because a lot of the games we've had in this tournament have been pretty short. They've been largely determined around the 20 to 30 minute mark, and a lot of the games that we see Void become God mode and go beyond that. It's like 45 plus when he really starts just solo killing cores. Quite a bit to go for that. But with that said, Talon, I want to say, is one of the slowest teams of the tournament, right? Like, their games have a tendency to go pretty late. So just on a team versus team matchup, this hero makes a lot of sense against this squad. The other day for Survival, we saw Talon beat PSG LGD in a 70-minute game, one of the longest we've had.
Yeah, and even though this is a very small thing, but we've been seeing teams become a little bit more acclimated to the patch like we talked about. Both of the Lotuses went to the side of Talon, so on top of that for now, how much of an impact that could have. I'm very sad to say that we have not seen a block of cheese the entire event, at least not that I've seen personally, because it's very hard to create such a divine snack, if you will.
Divine snack.
Yes, delicious.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, we did the math on it, right? It takes 27 minutes of collecting flowers, and you don't get to smell them. You just have to store them away.
Yeah. It's a good idea, but maybe it needs a little bit of a buff. We'll see.
Do you think you can make a recipe out of flowers and cheese in real life?
Sounds delicious to me.
Yeah, anything with cheese is good.
C Smile 20-5 in the mid lane, and Mikoto 17-2, so slight advantage going the way of EG as the water runes looks like they'll be traded. So nothing major in the mid lane, but I mean, talk to me about Underlord as just a general hero in the mid lane as Matthew. One more right click. Oh, pops that fairy fire at the last moment. Can't find the range, and he's going to take a little bit of damage.
There's a blood grenade to offer for Whisper here.
Yeah, he has 3 stacks of sticky napalm, but Whisper actually just stands his ground and dies. Ollie in 23 just barely survived, though.
Yeah, blood grenade would have not pushed that over the limit. Matthew could have helped out with that, so he had a little bit of extra in the tank, but This is what I was saying, like Bat Rider matchups against Terrorblade, very important how it goes in the first few waves. Terrorblade will always have CS advantage, he just has way more base damage. So if Bat Rider loses out on kills too, this is a very bad start in this lane for EG. Whisper is now about 1,000 behind the Terrorblade. And with Terrorblade just getting a little bit more in the way of defensive items, suddenly the kills don't exist anymore. And you just free farm, and eventually you can just transition into the jungle when you feel like it's time. And you see 23 already preparing here. He's going to buy the Infused Raindrops to block off Fade Bolt. And that together with a Wand and potentially a Running Tango. And even on top of that, which might be one of the biggest changes for this lane dynamic, if you get Lotus on Terrorblade, it's really good against Bad.
Yeah, that's true. Ollie putting down the Nether Ward as Panda has come through the gate to try to gank here. 23 Savage, obviously a bit of difficult kill, but they have the burst damage with the Fade Bolt and the Firefly from Whisper. That should be enough. Maybe able to clean up Ollie as well, so a double kill for Whisper, which was much needed. Because like you said, he was off to a bit of a rough start.
Very, very good rotation from Panda. If they don't bring Whisper into this game, it's going to look rough. And would you look at that, he was top of the net worth for like a second. Now he is again. After being 1,000 behind Terrorblade, he now equalizes from those 2 kills. So obviously, ton of gold going his way. And with that experience closing in on level 5, which is a pretty meaningful breaking point for Bat. Every time Sticky Napalm levels up, your damage just increases meaningfully. He also gets Mana Boots now. Nice for Matthew too in the lane. To get more spam potential here. Keep laying on that pressure.
From the mid lane, I'm interested when C-Smile is going to make these transitions over because he is, we're going to see the Flame Break from Whisper. He's level 4 right now. Matthew, he's taking the brunt of the damage though from Ollie. But if they can get this kill on 23 Savage, it'll be all worth it. Whisper continuing on, 5 stacks of Sticky Napalm, and that is another kill for Whisper and another death for 23 Savage. Whisper, all right, they're going to clean it up with Makoto's transition. That's the first time he's left that mid lane.
Very greedy to go for that secondary kill. I think he should be happy to get the Terrorblade and just back off. His Firefly was running out. He was approaching the enemy tower. And that's just an easy TP and grab there for Makoto. We're seeing
some bashes right now. A lot of bashes, in fact. They want to make it. Oh, they actually cancel out the skewer. Nicely done from Panda.
Yeah, he's got
Do they have the
Vanguard,
damage?
though.
Illuminate coming in from Q. That'll...
Yeah, he's got Vanguard, though.
Yeah, he's invulnerable.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Do you know why?
He's Vanguard.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So something interesting that I've been noticing as well is that these players that pick universal damage heroes are going Bracer. This is no different. Makoto's getting a Bracer on the Void Spirit. We saw it in the previous series as well with Sumail on Mirana, as well as Nisha on Void Spirit in that game. They both went 1 Bracer, and then Sumail went into an Atos build, whereas the Void Spirit will often go Echo Saber into Deso, or some sort of assassination build with Dagon or Kaya Sanj, and a utility item. There's different ways of approaching this from Makoto here, because you're playing with a really significant single target physical damage carry. So that hero benefits if you go Desolator, the minus armor synergizes nicely, but too much of one thing can also be bad, in which case the enemy can really itemize effectively by buying Solar Crest, etc. So maybe you do go the magic route to mix things up.
And Makoto getting a very nice arcane
Nice
rune.
and easy.
That is one thing that Talon have been, I don't know if they've really been controlling it per se, but Makoto has guessed right twice in a row. So C-Smile has yet to get a rune. As you can see, the first lasso of the game now in the top lane. Q getting burned down. Makoto's coming though. Still with that arcane rune activated, now trying to turn this around onto Whisper. There's the first RP of the game, and that's going to lead to the death of the Bat. So it's a 1-for-1, although C-Smile finally making his transition over. Yeah. Ollie with the heals from the high ground.
The dangerous ganking Underlord. He throws down a Firestorm, and then you run. Yeah, I mean, that
is the weird part about Underlord mid, but we'll be getting a lot of levels. There's the Astral Step onto Panda. Aether Remnant connects. Should lead to another kill for Makoto.
And unfortunately for Matthew in that situation, he had Spell Steal on cooldown after stealing Blinding Light, so he couldn't steal the RP. Jabs was protected from losing that spell there. I don't think they could have turned it around, but it could have turned into a potential future move. Obviously, the Rubik against Magnus matchup, a complete classic. But so far, Talon, top 3 net worth. Things are going very, very well for them. They're playing, as we said, a kind of greedy lineup where only the Void Spirit can be very active, but he's been covering his bases here, 2-0-2. Looking for more action up here with the Mag. Obviously, Vanguard treads, as well as a Lotus, is very tanky.
Yeah, Makoto's going to initiate, and Q's on the back line, though, but Whisper's taking the brunt of the damage. He will be bursted down. There was a TP, I think it was just canceled out from EG. So Matthew might be in a bit of trouble if the Aether Remnant does connect here. Coming out, able to side, nope. Actually finds the connection. Resonant Pulse to follow. Matthew just trying to stand his ground. He actually steals the life drain, but...
Oh, hello.
Okay, he will live! Oh my god. All right, nicely played.
All right, Mikoto didn't want to dissimulate next to the tower there because he didn't have the Remnant, or rather the Astral Step, and he was worried about a potential counterplay.
Yeah.
So he played it safe, and sneaky little smoke there. It's not the biggest of deals, but it always makes for a good smile. At the end of the day, it's a support avoiding death, not the biggest of deals. And I guess at the same time for EG, they haven't really shown much. Or it's so early in the game that you're not going to run out of smokes, right? So burning this one to stay alive is not going to bite you probably in the next 10 minutes.
Yep, that is fair.
Bot tower will fall here.
Top net worth in the game, by the way, is Jabs on this Magnus, who talked about his items already. He's going to be going for the Echo Saber, so be pretty damn scary.
Yeah, as the panel said, this guy just doesn't like auras, which I think is appealing to a lot of the people in the audience. I've heard some people out of spite didn't buy BKB for years. Just didn't want to do what was good in the meta.
Is there a reason you're looking at me when you're saying that?
No, looking at you because I'm forced to be here with you right now.
Oh, gotcha.
Who else would I look at?
That's yourself in the mirror anytime you want.
If you bring me a mirror, I will gladly cast with that.
Sounds good. Midas online for Pakaz. So 11.5-minute Midas, not too shabby considering he went for the treads first. We haven't really seen anything from C-Smile yet, and this is my question. I've been trying to get this out, but there's been so much action. The mid Underlord, when do you want to get... I mean, obviously he's missed out on a couple of runes, which I assume would have led to a potential gank, but now he's just resigned to farming. He's going for this Atos first main item.
Yeah, this is kind of the only cost-efficient item Underlord can buy to be a playmaker. Because, yeah, you have Pit of Malice to set up your Firestorm, but it just doesn't last long enough. But with an Atos, you can, you have some decent synergies. You can set up a catch where Bat Rider can then connect with a lasso, or you can pile spells on from a distance with Lich and Rubik. Also, C-Smile is currently rocking a haste run in the bottle, so if he wants to get something done, he can. Yep. The question is, where do you want to strike, and where does your damage come from? Because you have a Carrier Void who went Midas. He hits like a wet noodle. So probably you want to pair up with Bat and have him bring the damage to the plays. Or if Rubik has a good spell steal, which currently is Empower level 4, which
that is nice to have.
They are enjoying this on both the Underlord and the Void right now, that Matthew's running around with that. And I mean, if it does turn into a slow farm fest, this is one of those things that can equalize it quite a bit. You're offsetting that inherent advantage that Magnus lineups have, and your Void is now farming at a much, much faster pace. He's able to take these ancient stacks all of a sudden that he couldn't take before. So definitely enjoying some farm time with that. Curious what Pakaz is going to go. He's going Midas Maelstrom as standard. But after that, we've seen different paths. We've seen paths that have to do with status resistance in the past. We have seen paths that are just BKB. We've seen stat-heavy builds like Scotty. This hero actually has a pretty interesting itemization tree. The upside to going Scotty is you enable yourself to go Refresher in your build because you have the mana pool. And that is probably going to be an item EG, I almost want to say need if they want to win the game. I think Refresher Void is something you have to have in the back of your mind as the carry already here, because it will be a long and slow game. So maybe the Scotty will be the item of choice after Maelstrom. Is that crazy?
Why not? We've seen crazier things at this tournament.
Jab's going to break the smoke here.
Yep, the Underlord pit comes out. I don't think they have the damage to burst him through. He's already at half HP, though, as Matthew getting gone on from the sideline. That's going to be bursted down. He gets the shield up temporarily as Q. He's going to be the first to drop.
That's a good chain for... Oh, that was really unlucky.
We have the Chronosphere still available for Pakaz as the lasso finds Ollie. That'll be an easy cleanup for them, so that ends up being a 2-for-0 as Pakaz finally uses the Chronosphere, but it's on literally nobody but his teammate. It actually sets up Jabs' RP. Panda is donezo. Pakaz might have to rethink his priorities here as C-Smile will be skewered back into the tower and brought down to his knees. Sunder from 23 Savage. Pakaz has to be careful as Jabs, he's burning to the ground.
So
one more right click will do it. He will fall eventually. 23 Savage jumped in on Pakaz. Is this enough to take him out? It is. Double kill for Whisper. Lots of kills all the way around. And somehow Pakaz lives throughout this fight.
Great fight. Everybody died. I love to see it. Pugna and Void survive.
From the Coddle.
But a big win there overall for EG, of course. The carry stays alive. They get some very big kills. And yeah, as you pointed out, that was not a good chrono. So that could have gone way better.
Oh, boy.
I think I don't know if he was trying to ensure the kill on Void Spirit, but they kind of already had it. I actually, yeah, just a little bit off the mark there. We're going to see the replay here. I mean, this was a pretty long move, though, but... So
We'll see it.
yeah, so maybe that
okay.
was necessary.
He did get a kill with it. I missed
Maybe it
that
was necessary,
first
but he
portion.
clipped his Underlord with it, unfortunately, and really put C-Smile in an awkward spot. And this skewer just seals the deal here. Spell steal and power again, though, but he died, so doesn't have it.
Keep in
for
mind,
farming
like
now.
you said, neither teams have the auras. C-Smile will eventually get it as the mid Underlord, which that was going to be my next question. Is he actually going to itemize for the pipe and whatnot? He will be. And from
I got
Talon's
the
side,
Crimson for now.
it doesn't look like they're going to be going for anything like that. So you would think once that pipe is online for EG that despite having the Midas on the Void, they still might just want to fight.
Yeah, the pipe is relatively far away, though, right? Like, he is going Crimson first on the Underlord, which...
Oh, he changed his mind.
I mean, it's
Okay.
debatable. He has committed now by buying the Vid booster. I guess if he wanted to keep his options open, he could have taken a different route, but... yeah. Is Crimson better? Is Pipe better? Kind of hard to say.
Just get both. Oh,
Sure.
very well.
I mean, I'm kind of with you, though. I personally think Pipe is better value here because of the way fights have been structured so far. Void Spirit does significant magical damage, and he's like hybrid. He also does physical, of course, but with his current items, it's definitely heavily magical, and you block out so much of Pugna and Caudle by getting the Pipe. But it does look like Crimson is the way for him to go here. Smoke up from EG, 3-man.
Not going to find anything initially.
Bad Rider with the Octarine Core, which now no longer gives cast range, of course, so not as cool on bad as it used to be, but the build-up feels really nice. And this hero is all about the cooldowns, so
Yep.
we've seen players prioritize this higher and higher. But that is part of why this hero is a weird offlaner for many teams to run, right? Is that whole aura aspect where if you buy auras on bat, you feel kind of weak because of your cooldowns. So
Right.
EG opted for, if they do want to run this Whisper bat offlane, they have to have a mid hero that fills that role in the team. So it's a very interesting take. I feel like no other teams have really run a mid hero with auras that I can think of.
Yeah, it's definitely unusual. Even if it has happened, it's in the minority of games for sure.
Pakas will go BKB, not Scotty. So it was one or the other, probably. Upside to BKB is that you can't be offensively decrepified, and if Pugna does defensively decrepify, there's a lot of magic damage that goes through. No longer amplified, of course, as per this patch, but there's still plenty of magic damage where that came from Bat, Rubik, and Underlord, and even Lich sometimes, depending on the setup.
And Makoto on the Void Spirit. Obviously, we talked about the Echo Saber will be a BKB next. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of Echo Saber Desos. Not sure if that's what he's going to opt for.
Yeah, I don't know if BKB Void Spirit is the best here. Yeah.
They have the
Eyeing him
jump
up.
there. The start out with the Aether Remnant into the RP, and he is deleted.
Nicely executed.
Great
there.
setup from Talon.
Clean. They do have to use the RP for that, but that's just the nature of killing Void in this game. You have 2 stuns, you have Aether Remnant, and you have RP, and 1 isn't enough. So you have to burn them, but they don't settle. They're immediately going to look for more here.
Oh,
Smoke move mid.
Yeah. And Matthew looks to be the recipient of this.
that damage.
Easy kill again for Talon, who will get this tier 1 tower as well. And we'll see in the next minute and a half if team wants to take control of an area that a Tormentor resides in. As C-Smile is just like walking like really close to the enemy just constantly, and nobody wants to go for him. He's a tanky boy. Almost done with the Crimson, just a couple hundred away. Yeah, we're in the Tormentor territory here very shortly. And it's been interesting to see throughout the tournament which teams prioritize that really highly. Some teams literally don't do it until 40 minutes, for example. Sometimes it's because the shards on their supports are maybe not that impactful. You know, just adding net worth, just to add net worth, which is not always good.
Always in trouble.
Lasso. Whisper should be able to clean him up, and he does.
Wouldn't think it could cook a skeleton, but apparently.
You can cook anything.
Well, he said Pugna got roasted, toasted, and burnt to a crisp, but I feel like he's already crisp.
Thanks, Cinderin. Always
help.
very literal and helpful in these
Helping
casts,
out,
as
yeah.
always, yeah.
Like some bad lore there. We need a different voice line for when he kills Pugna.
Yeah.
Can we
Very important to add that to the list.
get on that?
Yep.
For no reason. Mid tower looks to be on the menu here for EG. Difficult to push into, though. You're playing against Caudle. You're playing against the potential threat of a skewer into RP. If you have it perfectly timed, you know he doesn't have it yet, but Only 10 seconds away from a reverse polarity, but they're fast enough. Underlord with the heavy hitting Atrophy Aura will get that down, no problem.
That's interesting. You mentioned the Octarine doesn't combine into Aetherlings anymore, but Whisper, he just buys an Aetherling.
Yeah, you have to buy both.
So why not?
Yeah. I mean, have to is the wrong word, but Batrider wants both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah.
And BKB is now online for jabs on the Magnus, and he's just going to finish up. I guess he can repurchase the Echo Saber and then turn that into a Harpoon. We've been seeing a lot of the Harpoon. Do you think that's enough? Like, you still need to go Blink at some point, or is that enough gap close to be able to pull off your combo?
I feel like
it has been a crazy
you have
combo.
to buy Dagger on this hero at some point. I mean, I'm kind of okay with him not doing it yet because of the flow of the game, and Void Spirit is able to perform the primary catching role, but eventually you need to have the Dagger for the surprise jump, for the late game-winning fight moments.
Yeah, like
it's,
the Blink,
it's too hard to do
the
with
Blink RPs on several heroes you're not going to get with Harpoon, right? Harpoon's very single target focused, but it does set up your skewer nicely, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that he is prioritizing that to some degree. But one of the coolest items for sure in this patch. All right, it's Tormentor time. Who will get the shard? And they actually align it nicely with the Wisdom Rune.
Yeah. Fortunately for Ramses, he's not in the arena right now, so unaffected.
Yep, very true.
He's
And it'll go
probably in his
to
practice
Lich.
room in the hotel, enjoying that top 3.
So you get the Ice Shire, as we like to call it. Pretty underrated shard, I would
Makes
say.
me laugh every time.
It happens.
Thanks for that.
I mean, I don't know if you'd rather have the Rubik one or the Lich one, actually.
Yeah, it's
Both are quite good.
the Rubik one is really cool against. I mean, if you clutch it out, can you even save against Magnus? Probably not, right? I think Skewer overrides it.
That's a good question, actually.
So I guess the Lich one is probably.
It might be whatever's first. If you do it mid-skewer, it should.
Spire is amazing with Chrono though, because if you hit any Chrono on 1 or 2 heroes,
Yeah, that's fair.
the Lich can just guarantee the
Right.
bounces in there.
See Talon smoked up next to the gate, looking to set up a potential fight, and then into a Roche as EG are also going to smoke up.
Ourselves a schmuck. Yep. Whisper's
BKB
gonna
on the
TP
TV
down.
now. Makoto, his is going to pop. He's going to focus on Matthew, but the telekinesis instantly will be able to dissimulate away as Lasso comes out just in time on the Void Spirit. The Chronosphere onto 3 heroes. Do they have the follow-up damage? Firestorm's doing quite a bit, but 23 Savage pops his BKB. Very low HP, looking for a Sunder target. Finally gets one, but I think that was on a teammate as Pakaz pops his BKB. The RP's going to be faked out. See Smile on the run now, as this was a 1-for-1 with buyback. That finally the RP comes out, and it is on the tanky Underlord, which they eventually take out as 3 dead for EG. And the buyback's coming in from the Lich now, as Makoto, at half health, has that shield rune activated as well. He's getting burned to his crisp as well, but there's the healing coming out from Ollie. Is it enough to keep him alive? Another assimilate onto the backside, will stay alive as a result. Lotuses are available for 23 Savage, but he will actually channel them during this fight. And his meta's running out, so let's be a bit careful. The rest of EG still occupying this lane. They're not afraid.
That was a really great Chrono, but unfortunately for EG, Lich wasn't in range to get the combo off, and the Chrono expires, and then they pop the BKBs. So in reality, the Chain Frost was only hitting the Caudal. I mean, you still do some damage now, but it's not the full effect that you're looking for in that instance. The pairing there could have been crazy. I mean, there's some very clear, amazing synergy in EG's lineup. If they Chrono non-BKB heroes, they just have overwhelming damage with Firestorm and Chain Frost, but when those BKBs are popped, they do sustain through it, Talon do, and get a good fight out of that in the end. Pretty even trade for the most part. No, neither carry died.
Yeah, it feels like a bit of a stalemate.
Yep.
Still sticking around as well.
They do have the cooldowns on their side. They know RP is down, and obviously Batrider with the Octarine has Lasso ready earlier. So EG would probably like to get another fight, but Talon isn't going to give it to them. You see the replay here. This Chrono really well placed, but look at Lich top right.
Yeah.
Has to waddle all the way down to place the Spire, and there's the ice, the Chain Frost as BKBs are coming out. And at 23 did Sunder the Void. This is obviously an interesting change that happened in this patch with the change to debuff immunity. Is that you can Sunder an enemy, and you get their health, but they don't get yours. So he just healed on the Void effectively.
Which inherently was a huge buff to Terrible.
Yeah, for sure. Having that
was the
option.
counter, like stun locking him, and then when he's about to be able to Sunder, you just pop your BKB and he can't do anything, which is no longer the case.
Just make sure you take damage while you kill him.
That, true. Of course. Very important.
Huskar with BKB. There's the solution.
Oh, yeah.
Very good hero against Terrorblade, I've heard.
Well, Harpoon
Don't
is
do
now
that.
online for Jabs. RP is available as well, as they are going to take the gate because Roche is about to waddle himself over to the other side.
Yeah, they're going to use this opportunity to smoke as well.
Here, boy, let's go.
I don't know if they're trying to fake a Roche here against the side of EG and hoping that they bite, or if they're actually going to commit to just force the fight to happen. Oh, here he comes. Nah, they don't look too interested in pursuing it right now.
Ollie
They'll find
placing
Panda,
another
though.
ward down. Panda, he gets blown up.
Surprise. There's a ward. And I believe that was a dieback, right? Yes. So long death timer here, 53 seconds. 5v4. Talon know this, so might just go ahead and force it.
Yeah, perhaps. Into the Roche pit, Talon has gone. It'll be the first attempted Roche of the game. Question is, will EG be able to defend, or contest rather? But looks like they are resigned to just giving it up. So 23 Savage in all likelihood will be able to pick up this Aegis unless they deny it in epic fashion, of course. Always a classic for these big tournaments. And he will pick it up successfully.
The SEA Classic. Shout out
First
to Orange
Roche.
Esports.
Way of Talon.
Oh man, one of the moments of all time.
That was a moment indeed.
Who knows what could have been at TI3.
All right, C-Smile actually still not going pipe. Finished the Crimson and is now going for Halberd. So he's able to get that off on the TB before the BKB comes out. Obviously extremely effective. And just the evasion alone. I mean, Terrorblade's not a hero that would necessarily want to buy MKB or anything like that. So a lot of extra E8P. Well,
By extension, this means they're not getting a pipe though. So
yeah, that is
the Void has his BKB to protect himself a good amount. Lich is getting Glimmer. And there's a Force Staff on the way for Bat and in the bag of Rubik. So they have repositioning tools to try to get out of the spell burst from Pugna, Caudal, and Void Spirit. So we're seeing the shards here. Void bought his own.
Yeah, that's a good one. Has he the
Walk back
reverse
and
time
forth.
walk, which we've seen work out.
Pakaz very
The
high
baits
level
and
as well.
spells.
Worth noting. The Midas, he's almost level 20.
That is
The enemy carry being level 15. Terrorblade will generally be under-leveled relative to his net worth because a lot of the farm comes from illusions around the map, but yeah, Void is always there for all of his experience, and with the Midas, he will now approach level 20 talent. Probably going to take the attack speed during Chronosphere, one would imagine.
yeah,
Standard talent chosen.
That is the
most
most
of the
common
time.
pickup. 95 attack speed. That's a very random number.
He used to be 120.
Nice.
Got hit by the frog gun.
That extra 5 though, you don't want those even numbers. That's for sure. That would be too strong.
They ran the simulation, and this was the perfect number.
Well,
AI is
considering
here to save us.
Considering nobody takes the other talent, I don't know if that's actually true, you know? We have a lasso initiation. Ollie gets off the Glimmer Cape, but they're going to be able to dust him as C-Smile. He's taking a lot of damage from this Terrorblade. You can see the reverse time out from Pakaz. Harpoon attempt from Jabs is not successful.
Really good psychic
C-Smile
headband.
still getting pursued by Makoto, but his BKB is now going away. There's a heal coming out from Matthew on the C-Smile, so they're able to reset
It's a chrono.
successfully as the Chronosphere finds one. It is the Caudal, which is an important kill. Actually, there's 2 with the Fat Magnus inside. BKB from Pakaz. RP still available, able to expend it onto this Void. Do they have enough damage to actually finish him off? And they do. He does have his buyback, as C-Smile did get off that Crimson Guard, which is why it's taking them so long to finish him off. But eventually they will. A big turnaround here from Talon, as the Chronosphere was actually pretty damn good. Almost caught 3 as
Yeah.
23 just on the outskirts.
It's such a big difference. If he clips the Terrorblade with that one as well, he doesn't end up dying there, because the
Yeah.
Terrorblade was hitting him during the Chrono on the other 2, and that means that the RP from Magnus has him low enough to just barely get that kill. Just want to highlight how fast that Psychic Headband was from Whisper as well. This is something to look out for. The moment Magnus blinked in, or rather, yeah, he did blink in, I think. He just immediately got headbanded away and couldn't RP in the first place. All right, Lasso here.
23 Savage, he has
Sunder.
Sunder, he has Aegis still.
This leads to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so in the
Well,
end,
it leads to a
used
kill for the
lasso
enemy.
for no reason. And Matthew,
Oh,
okay, he
stolen
stole
Sunder.
Makoto.
Okay.
He's going to have to dissimulate away, has that shard for that extra ring.
Never mind. Nobody
Tier 2
died.
tower does fall in the end. I mean, the lasso doesn't feel that bad, low cooldown, especially with the Octarine in tow. Not the biggest of deals, as we're seeing a replay of the original fight here. And just being able to go in and out of the fight is very important for Pakaz with that shard. And there we see
Terrorblade.
the
If
Chronos
Terrorblade
here.
doesn't have the... Okay, he gets Chrono toward the end there, right? If Terrorblade doesn't have the Dragon Lance, he can't deal damage there.
Yeah.
So really, sometimes the 100 range is...
That's where the reverse timeout can get you killed, and it literally did there, right? Like, you just feel a little bit too confident going in and out. The muscle memory failing you in the end. But I think
Looking
that
good for
last-
Talon now,
So
after
great.
that fight. Their Aegis is expiring in 30 seconds, though, but I still think they can be in the driver's seat here and just really put on the pressure. RP will be coming off cooldown in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Might go for a Blink Skewer.
Have it available. Scotty now online as well, as the Aegis is going to expire relatively shortly. So that is one thing to keep in mind.
Okay,
Looks like
a
no
smoke
fight will
into
break out.
denying a Watcher.
Yep, that is a very important objective, of course, as we're approaching the 31-minute mark. So the Tormentor might be spawning relatively soon. Still waiting for that to be added to the UI, of course. And we should mention, I don't think Talon got their Tormentor at all, unless we missed it, which we have in the past. And it
Wait,
doesn't-
did they not kill it a single
It
time?
doesn't show, like, it should say Tormentor version 2.
Ah.
It should say something. It was.
They have the Coddle shard. Did he buy his own? I'm pretty sure they killed it.
Okay, maybe they did.
I think they killed it.
Sure. All right, well, the Tormentor spawns for EG.
Panda,
They're gonna
don't
be able to
die.
snag this
Don't die
one
now.
up.
Don't die now.
Ramses.
Don't die now, Matthew. Oh my god.
My goodness.
They both almost died there.
All right,
Matthew
Bat
can
Rider.
sunder his Underlord and get reported right now if he wants to.
Yeah. That's an
That's what
instant
half
ban,
the
of
audience
course.
would do. Of course, don't blame you guys. It's hard being a support. You finally get to pretend to be carry by stealing Sunder and support and sundering your cores.
Yeah, on the big stage as well, so we don't really need Overwatch for that. I think we can all just collectively agree that that would be a ban. They smoke up, but not going to find anything initially. As a double damage spawns top, and Talon is going to be the first to spot it. And a Terrorblade with double damage is filthy, considering his high base damage. As you can see, the Void Spirit now with a Daedalus, so his Astral Steps will hurt. Actually, he's the one that pops the double or has the double damage.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
bottom, so that
Double
would be
damage,
more
Daedalus, and
disgusting.
Empower.
Initiation from Whisper.
Oh, the Sunder
And
play.
the Sunder, yeah, he already has half HP. He's going to get the Skewer off in the meantime, and Whisper's going to get destroyed for his transgressions, and Matthew and company will have to back away. See if they can wait out this meta, as they can see the double damage is there from Makoto. Smile. Oh, the RP only finding one, but they still might be able to win this fight outright. 3 dead just like that in favor of Talon. Pakaz gets off the Chronosphere, but the Sunder from 23 Savage saving his Magnus. Beautifully done as the Lich Chainfrost not doing as much as they would want. Pakaz, Nullifier applied to him, wants to continue to try to kill 23 Savage. Has to be careful though, because C-Smile in the area, gets off the Lotus, or the Atos I should say, and 23 Savage
No,
is getting
no, no,
healed
no, no, no.
from inside the pit. Is this going to be enough to actually save him? Pakaz off to BKB, getting some bashes. 23 Savage is running for his life. Another bash is there. Jab finally getting in there. They do clean up the Terrorblade, but how much will it cost? Pakaz able to find another one for himself. Dissimulate from Makoto will keep him alive, and EG able to find something after basically getting team wiped. Unbelievable turnout from EG. If they didn't get that Terrorblade kill, my goodness, that would have been awful.
What a great fight from Ollie as well, though, on the Pugna. The fact that that Terrorblade chase took like 20 seconds was ridiculous. Just, yep, it feels like, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, there's no way Pakaz isn't by Nullifier, right? He's had enough of that, so wants to find that solution. Yep, that cost them, was that an Underlord buyback and a Rubik buyback? I think so. So 2 buybacks on the side of EG, but they got some really valuable kills for it. This one in particular, obviously, will take a little while before he gets there. The TP attempt there. Did he cancel his TP? I think the play call there was to turn it right. He did cancel it, right? Nothing stopped him, I think. So maybe 23 could have got out.
Oh my goodness.
And then Jabs was like, you guys deserve it. You've worked so hard for this kill. Here you go.
Yeah, it's tough to say. He might have been able to finish it off regardless, but
Yeah,
either
I
way,
think so.
Unfortunate for Talon. Looked like they were winning that fight pretty handily.
And now it's very close again, and we're approaching that late game portion when Void can start getting really scary, especially because his primary problem so far has been Decrepify, but he's going to be able to solve that himself in 1,000 gold with a Nullifier. Kind of pick your target. I'm trying to think of like where does he sit damage-wise right now? Who can he kill in a Chrono? He can definitely kill either support. He can probably kill the Void Spirit too during the Chrono with a little bit of help. I think the other two boys are a little bit too beefy, but obviously can rely on some nice backup from either Firestorm or even just a little bit of damage from Rubik or Lich could push him just across the kill threshold of a Magnus or a Terrorblade, which would obviously be the biggest kill if they could find it.
Talon with the smoke, looking for an opening. Basically every spell at everyone's disposal now. Okay, they're gonna skewer, can't get the illusion, fortunate. That's going to lead to a smoke from EG, now that they know this is a thing. Nullifier online for the Void. Lots of nullifiers this game. 2. Quite a bit. 7K lead for Talon, but definitely not feeling too good after that last fight.
And it's all going to come down to who gets the initiation, right? If Bad Rider finds a good pick and Talon try to help and they set themselves up for a 2 or 3 man Chrono, the fight's just over on the spot, more or less. Got to be really, really careful about your positioning. And at the same time, EG need to not clump up for an RP. So both teams need to play angles, need to play range. There we see the skewer. This will start things off.
Yeah, they're going to start it out on the tankiest target. Nullifier applied to him. They're already at half health, though. Illuminate coming in as well. He actually gets deleted. 100 seconds down for Underlord. No follow-up from EG. Oh, now Whisper gets off the lasso onto the Void Spirit. There's a Sinister Gaze as well, and somehow they find Makoto after the fact. So a 1-for-1, very surprising turn of events after the initial Jabs initiation. Looking forward again, but not going to find it. Gem on the ground. Jabs will pick it up. Going to take a flame break for his troubles. Pakaz in and out.
This is starting to get awkward now for Talon because they're starting to get stickied up. Bad Rider with the gem flying around here as well. Keeps canceling Jab's Blink Dagger non-stop. But needs to be careful running into the enemy vision and will back off.
His meta's not going to last forever.
Yep.
There's a window on the time that they can fight. They do have the buyback on the Void Spirit while the Underlord does not have it for EG, so that is something also to keep in mind.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Occupying now the gate area as Roche is available for the taking. And knowing that meta is down, maybe this provides them opportunity to take the Roche for themselves.
And it's relatively risk-free for Pakaz, right? He has Satanic, and he has 20% backtrack talent. Now he reaches 25, so he can solo this slow and steady. He'll take slight bits of damage. That'll be quite a bit more when the Terrorblade illusions start bothering him here.
Yep.
A walk in and out.
Gonna be pretty healthy.
They have Panda in range as well with the Glimmer Cape as well as Frost Shield.
The initiation onto the Terrorblade. Very, very good target to get if they can actually kill him, but Whisper dies instead. Pakaz a little bit late with the Chronosphere, and you can see the heals from the other side from Ollie, keeping the TB alive. Chain Frost comes out, doing a good amount of damage. As Ollie, he's gonna turn his sights to death because Pakaz takes him out. And meanwhile, close to the gates, we're having a major fight as Whisper's somehow able to live. Skewer not gonna connect from Jabs. Has to kind of reset now. Gets Flame Break back into the Firestorm. Jabs will skewer away. Pakaz still wants to fight. Remember, Roche was not taken out yet. The Crimson Guard is popped and they're able to take out another member of Talon. And Makoto, he gets dropped to the deck. 80 seconds, but does have buyback. If they want to try and contest, knowing that this Bat Rider will not be back anytime soon. Blinding Light, forcing C-Smile away. 23 Savage uses his Sunder. Now has the meta. Nullifier applied to C-Smile. There's the skewer back. Not able to find the initial target, but they'll take C-Smile instead and be happy with it. And now maybe Talon can be the ones to take out Roche.
Yeah, they could ensure it definitely if they bought back Void Spirit now, but they might not even have to. Maybe they can still just cover it. These 3 heroes from EG don't have the best poke and the best way of getting information. So again, nice fight there from Talon. Trying to remember the whole fight. It feels like every fight this game lasts like 2 minutes. It's just too many things to go over, but at the end of the day, they do edge it out. And again, for me, it seems like the problem EG has is Pugna. Like, they just need to find and kill this guy. Ollie is doing incredible amounts of work from a distance, both him and the Coddle together. buying time, blinding, healing, 4 staffs, Glimmer. Got to take it out of play if you're Pakaz. Going on this, I think the way EG entered that fight is just a little bit naive. I don't think you're going to kill Terrorblade like this as your primary target.
Fight is Panda deleted right off the bat. Ollie able to survive despite having a nullifier applied to him. Matthew attempting to TP out will be successful. Well, only 1 dead in this little mini engagement as Pakaz now running away.
2 dead.
Well, the Underlord was already dead. So.
Pakaz killed the courier.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Actually 3. Ollie killed the sentry ward.
Thank you, Cinderin, for joining us.
Always helping out. So here you see the problem, right? There's these heals. There's the Caudal heal, there's the Pugna heal, and Pakaz is doing his damnedest here, but it's not even close. And now he's like, screw this, I'm going to go on the Pugna. I just think this is a little bit too late, and not the way you want to enter this fight. If you're EG, I think Terrorblade is literally your worst possible target because of the protection he has. You can go on the Magnus, you can go on any of the supports and start off the fight. I don't think you have to lasso cores in this game. You just want to start off the fight, get something rolling, the enemy team has to help, you set up your Chrono, you set up your Pit of Malice combo.
Yeah.
Whisper just needs to find any target that there's a true kill threat on, and things are going to be fine. But Talon get the, I want to say almost maximum value out of that fight. Now, with this Aegis in hand for another minute and a half, 3 minutes and a half rather.
Sheepstick is there, not able to get the skewer back though. A little bit late after the harpoon.
Maybe it's time to buy an Axe for Jabs. Get that horn toss.
I mean, that has not been super popular. The couple times we've seen it has been a bit underwhelming.
Yep. Maybe this is your first time watching Dota since TI, TI-10 rather.
TI-10, yeah.
It is not what it used to be.
Yeah. Horribly nerfed, and then...
Maybe the best shard ever.
Oh, that's tough to say.
It was stupidly good.
It was. Okay, that's a hard one now. You're going to make me really think about the most broken shards of all time.
A little bit of a pause here. Ready.
Ooh, Aghanim Scepter is there now for 23 Savage. So we get the Terror Wave. That is a very good spell. Gives you that temporary metamorphosis, but more importantly, the fear in an AoE.
A lot of the time we see this picked up after Swift Blink, but he's going to do it in this order. Usually the Swift Blink comes, or a lot of the time anyway, comes first, and then you have the immediate value of that item, and then when you get the Terror Wave, you can blink behind enemy supports and blast them.
Pakaz has found the RP, skewer back. Do they have the control? The fear as well? Aether Remnant, Pakaz gets the BKB off, and the Chronosphere on basically everybody. Do they have the damage to actually finish anybody off, though? They get the Kono. Makoto getting healed from the sideline, 23 Savage. He's getting finally the Sunder onto C-Smile, but he is still controlled horribly on the back line as Ollie getting cleaned up by Pakaz thanks to that nullifier. That is the Aegis down. EG. What a turnaround. Somehow Pakaz lives. They're going to get this easy cleanup kill now onto 23 Savage. And that is disastrous for Talon.
Shannon, I figured out Dota. Don't go on the carry. That's the recipe.
Goodness.
Both teams back-to-back with bad fights from opening on the carry. That's just too tanky. Pakaz, 3,500 health, and the backtrack talent. They just couldn't kill him.
Backtrack talent and Trickster Cloak.
Yep.
Those two made the difference, honestly.
He is stupidly tanky against this Terrorblade who has no True Strike. So,
and EG, we have 3 members of Talon that are dead without buyback, so this is going to be minimum 1 set of racks.
Yeah, fortunately for Talon, both their side lane tier 2s are still up.
Yeah, but they can just try to go for throne. They're going to try and force it. They only get the tier 3, now going for the tier 4s without having a racks at all. Magnus, that is somebody you do have to be careful with. The skewer into Fountain is definitely real. And they're going to back off before that first tier 4 falls, so maybe they are going to be happy with just getting the set of racks in the mid lane.
This is a pretty clever tier 4 force because they accomplish 2 things. First of all, they get a read on enemy buyback status. And secondly, they have enough time that if one hero buys back, they can still get the same objective they would otherwise.
Right.
But now you, on top of it, got almost a tier 4 and a Magnus buyback. So really elegant play there from EG, losing absolutely nothing in the process and forcing a key hero buyback. Because if you kill Magnus at any point now, your Void is more or less invincible, right? Like, they have to have the RP and Hex to even touch this guy. And you see it wasn't enough this time around.
Yeah.
See the Pakaz camera shot, he looked extremely calm about the situation.
I'm not sure if it would have mattered, but he hexed into RP, didn't really layer it properly, technically speaking. I don't know if you have enough time, though. If you
Maybe if you do it
but that's one of those, you have to do it perfectly layered to be able to get that kill.
Yeah. The issue is that you're spending more or less the entire Hex duration on setting him up for your team, but you can't really start with Blink Hex and have all your teammates in range.
That's true.
Because they don't all have blinks. So, yeah, just tough.
Very difficult pick off, and I mean that just shows how tanky the freaking Faceless Void is. As another Tormentor, number 3, goes down.
All right, more damage for the Underlord, more waves in the Firestorm. Faster Firestorm as well. Actually, pretty nice with Chrono to get the shard.
And we can see
you want to have that burst damage.
Now.
Yeah, there's the refresher, obviously enabled by the Scotty build. So Pakaz with more than enough mana will get rid of his boots. And the luxury that Void has is he obviously has a movement spell. And with the shard, your movement is longer on the time walk. So this hero easily plays without boots late game. Something other melee carries fall victim to is they kind of need Swift Blink to cover for the movement speed loss.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Faceless Void doesn't care. Like you can literally just sell your boots and not even feel bad about it.
Oh, double damage bottom, by the way.
Look at that damage dealt. Faceless Void, top of the board. That's pretty rare. This hero isn't usually the big damage dealer. He's usually the setup. And obviously will do meaningful damage, but I don't know. Healing done. He's healed more than Pugna. Time Walk is a wonderful spell. Counts as healing on that graph. Don't worry, he's not playing Slasher's Way with 280 salves for his teammates.
I think that's Slack's way now, too. Cheese is still there for Talon. They're going to have it in the backpack of 23 Savage, which he has a Crystallis taking up a slot right now, so we'll be going for the eventual Silver Edge.
So him prioritizing Silver Edge over the Swift Blink really tells the story of how much trouble they're having with the backtrack, right? I think there's very few talents in the game that you can break, if even any other than this one. There's very few anyway. But backtrack can be broken. It's a leftover from an old spell. If you're a new player, this is not obvious whatsoever. You just need to find out by chance.
I genuinely forgot that you could break that.
You just Google and you're like, Void was level 30, what could I possibly have done? And you hope there's a forum thread from 4 years ago that says, by the way, Silver Edge works.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, there's been some patches, hope it still works. And you read the Silver Edge text and says absolutely nothing. And then that's why Dota's so beautiful. Burden of knowledge. You just got to know things. And fortunately, 23 Savage is a very experienced player, so he knows things. And he will buy this. Let's see if it's going to work out.
Wow, that was a long-winded way to say that it breaks his talent. Thank you, Cinderin, as always.
I get paid per word, actually,
apparently,
when I cast.
Jesus. 3K lead for Talon, but this could go any which way. I mean, I would think that EG might have a bit of a leg up considering they have the refresher. And, I mean, Chronosphere late game is just so hard to deal with.
That's a fast Tormentor
Talon,
right there.
Take out another Tormentor,
All right.
and that's
that is the
Magnus.
Double Shockwave,
That's
not particularly good this game.
Yeah, that's the old Ags, but nerfed down a bit. Kind of haven't really seen too much of it, but not the biggest player for sure. And we'll see what EG are able to do as we won't know about the next Roche for another 2.5 minutes. Pakaz just making sure there's nothing in the pit. Left over there is like, whose Quelling Blade is that? I guess my items are probably a little bit better at this point.
Don't like littering. Someone should pick it up.
Delete it. Are they? I mean, Roche.
Oh, nice. Pakaz with the. Oh, that's good. Wait, did he drop it again?
This is like almost max late Roche spawn. So they're actually obviously thinking that Roche could spawn right now, but we know that it is far, far away. But this might still lead to a fight because Talon are in the same predicament.
Yep. Smoked up, but very, very hesitant here. Trying to get some sort of information about the Roche status. Can't really get there, though, so more or less at the mercy of EG not going for it here.
And one big deal that, because of this late Roche, might actually help out Talon is they're the only, I mean, 2 of their cores don't have buyback, and they're the only heroes in the entire game without buyback.
And, dare I say, they have a cheese, so they could get the block of cheese. They're pretty close. They have 1 Healing Lotus.
Right,
so 26 to go.
Yeah, good.
That's not true. That was wrong math. You know.
Yeah, I
know how
was
many
not
you
gonna
need?
say anything. You need 18. They have 1.
That is correct.
Okay, that's easy math, I think.
17 to go. How many are bottom right? There's 3 bottom right.
Yeah.
And 1 top left, now taken by Panda.
I mean, this has the potential to go very late, especially since we're going to have 10 buybacks at some point before this next Roche, I assume.
Panda has 6 Lotuses, Shannon, so a third of the way.
Yeah, keep us updated.
He gave it away. Who'd he give it to? Rubik. Nice little 900 burst heal and mana.
The question is,
use.
can EG drop a Lotus and Talon pick it up? It works for them, right? That could be used as part of the cheese. So maybe they could coordinate something to get the block of cheese, which everybody in the crowd wants to see.
Just what we need. More ways to grief.
Yeah.
That is... I don't know if it works, actually. I don't know if you get ownership.
It should work.
That's a good question. 25 here for Jabs, showcasing the Empower talent. It's either that or more stun on the RP.
Yeah, the RPs have been kind of hard to find.
I kind of feel like the RP talent might be better in this game. Like, even if it's just 0.8.
I mean, 0.8 in that last fight against the Void,
it would have been enough. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, sometimes a second is everything. And 10% empower damage and cleave is obviously also, you know, make the kill easier, but don't know if it compensates for a full 0.8 seconds there.
BKB already activated. Jabs uses the RP on just the Rubik, but there's a Chronosphere coming in from Pakaz on the 2 heroes. Fear's not going to do anything from 23 Savage. He walks into the Chronosphere. Finally gets off his meta. Nullifier applied to Ollie, and I don't know if Pakaz can actually finish off. The second Chronosphere comes onto 2 heroes, blocking off the path for Q to get back to his home. Hugging a bot back and died immediately. Now the focus is on this Terrorblade. He's going to get stun locked and brought down. He does have buyback, but okay, they get the Void inside the fountain, but able to time walk away.
He is so
23 Savage bot back.
Tanky on Void. My
he does not have meta, though. We'll see how much he can actually do here. C-Smile's completely out of mana. Okay, the nice Sinister Gaze to stop the combo, and the lasso to follow it up. Jabs in the middle of nowhere, gets off the skewer, will connect on the C-Smile. Pakaz jumps in to try to finish off Jabs in the meantime. 23 Savage, he's getting a bit low, has to be careful, might need to sidestep, gets off the Sunder. Pakaz just time walks it away, on top of Q now, but there's the, okay, he's gonna use, Jabs can't get the opening at all. He cannot get these clean combos with the Harpoon. For the rest of EG, focusing now on the second set of barracks, knowing that this Pugna cannot buy back. Obviously still have to be a bit careful because these skewers can definitely be an issue if properly executed. So 2 sets of racks for EG, and they're gonna back away. And we can see that Roche has now spawned, and they should know that Roche is up now.
Yeah, it spawned quite a while ago, right? This is a 100% guaranteed spawn. Okay.
Initiation, okay.
Find the Rubik.
Yeah, they find something finally. 90 seconds of no Rubik is, we'll see how big of a deal that ends up being.
I mean, ideally, if you're Talon, you want to try to force a fight when RP is up and Corona number 2 isn't, because obviously Void used the Refresher Orb in that fight. I think every fight you take now as Talon is stupidly hard against the 2 RPs. They're going to try for the assassination here.
But Whisper with the counter initiation onto Jabs, and now Pakaz focusing on him. The fear from the outline, 23 Savage able to control just a bit. But now the focus is on the C-Smile as 23 Savage runs away. Whisper, it's a 1v1 battle between him and Makoto, but Pakaz, he wants to try to counteract that.
No
we have the vision for Makoto, no. So no kills in that little mini engagement. Very tense here.
RP is now online.
Yep, Pakaz, he's showing himself. Jabs, he wants the opening, but he's going to be stuck inside that pit. Okay, gets off the skewer, nullifier, a lot of damage being applied by the Terrorblade, but Pakaz has the Chronosphere onto 3. Again, the heals come out, but it's not going to be enough. Pakaz just destroys everybody. Will-O-Wisp a little bit too slow there, and the rest of Talon have to back away. And with this, EG, they can just get this next Roche.
I mean, he was serving himself up on a platter there. He was literally just saying, come at me. He wanted them to do that. He wanted to set up that RP. It was clearly a bait. And Talon, out of pure desperation, really tried to kill him, but they just don't have enough damage. You see this combo here. They get this RP with Terrorblade, able to hit more or less the entire time. It's just not enough. Pakaz gets the Chrono off, and this fight's over the moment he presses that button.
So very good fight for EG. Aegis now on Pakaz, and he has the Ags as well that drop from Roche, and that one's not too shabby. Every time you time lock, it will stun everybody in the area. Pretty good, especially when it doesn't take up a slot.
Yeah, he has some good net worth. What do you think?
Yeah.
When is it becomes bugged post-game? I think that's been fixed.
For what? Oh, when it's...
Your net worth,
I think
what's
it was
called?
like above
Overflows.
60 or something. It was something around there.
Integer overflow.
Yeah,
like 50-something K. He might not reach that time if this push ends the game. 30 seconds on Terrorblade. This should be megas unless Talon can do some serious staggering tactics here.
Stalling
them out.
Scary. Level 29, Faceless Void. Now just focusing on the barracks. And I think you're right, Talon might just have to give this up and try to defend against Megas, but with the Aegis and Cheese on the side of EG, this is going to be very, very tough. The tier 4 falls because it was very low from the beginning, basically. As Jabs looking for the opening, but not able to find the skewer. That is what they need, something big into the fountain. But now the last tier 4 goes down. EG can try to focus down the racks. Will-O-Wisp is going to delay it just a little bit. As now the Ancient getting hit a bit. Jabs with a nice skewer onto 2. The RP to follow, but they're not in the fountain quite yet. They get bounced back just a little bit, and that's going to be the death of C-Smile. He buys back into the game. Makoto now trying to focus on the supports on the backline. Eon this does proc. Makoto has to kind of re-engage here. There's the double lasso, but that's on an illusion. Doesn't matter. As long as the Terrorblade is one of them, that's all you need. The Chronosphere to follow now. No Terrorblade at all. Should be the end of this game. A second Chronosphere to come. Do they have the damage? Absolutely. EG absolutely crushing mid-game and thereon as they will take game number 1.
What a great game from EG. I mean, and also a solid game from Talon. They just run into a wall at some point. They run out of damage for this Faceless Void. He becomes too big. You give this Void Glimmer, you give him the Frost Shield, you send him in there, you bait them out, you force the big spells, and ultimately just got too big. Had the Empower for a little bit this game, for a little bit extra ramp up. His Midas pays off.
I wish we could look at a stat for how much gold they got because, like how fast he farmed because of the Empowers.
Yeah, I think they had it for a good, I want to say 4 or 5 minutes when it was like a slowed down state of the game. So that definitely helped them out. Yeah, and they just reached their item timings. And despite Whisper having a bit of a rough start, they brought him back with a couple of kills. He ends the game 10, 9, and 14, found a lot of good lassos to set things up. And the entire cast around this dire lineup, it's kind of fascinating about a player like C-Smile. He's known for like playing this high risk, high reward, popping off or having a little bit of facepalm moments here or there. But this game, he's just playing a very slow and stable hero in Underlord. Chrislock has an
Those items are not
hero
activated, by the way. Just throwing out. 23 Savage did have items at the end of this game.
Oh, they all tilted.
So, yeah, that's game number 1 going the way of EG. Let's see what the panel has to say about this one.
Well, EG's taking their time. They're definitely... Maybe they didn't expect these bans, to be honest. They were maybe hoping for the Rubik underdog once again.
Why are we seeing this? Why are we seeing this AA banned out? Because I think he was banned out first phase of the last game as well. Now we were suggesting all that's because you want to pick Alk, but do you ban the AA and then that forces them to ban Alk? Is that what that does, or is it just too good? I mean,
it might just be the current trade-off that people are doing, so that if you get the Alchemist, it cannot get A8 because it is the hardest counter and it gets more popular in the position 5 role right now. So I really think it's just that for the Alchemist, and it forces an Alchemist ban.
Well, they got the Storm Pugner, the old battery with Storm seems to have been very popular. This whole battery concept, these aren't new mechanics. Why has this suddenly become super popular?
I personally think that just both these heroes got slight buffs. Like the partner buffs are pretty incredible, to be honest, if you think about it. Like the W not having any negative effects on your teammates anymore, that they take more damage. And Storm Partner is just a really solid like second pick opening. You give the other 2 counter picks to your off lane and to your safe lane, and Storm is really hard hero to counter in laning stage. Talon answer with probably Mikoto Dragon Knights. Like he's very comfortable on the hero and he sees his matchup, so no reason not to pick it. It's a pretty open draft so far. See Bad Rider ban. This time they're really respecting the 18 Bad Rider, or the second pick Bad Rider on EG. Once again, I think the fact that they flex it between the mid lane and the off lane role just showed so much potential.
I'm happy to see it. I really like Dragon Knight. I think this hero is still good. Who is it? Like Gaiman still would like to run it a lot, especially on mid.
Tundra also.
And Tundra,
Tundra,
yeah.
of course. Like they love it on 9 and Skeeter to flex it. I think the hero did get like pretty decent nerfs with, of course, like the main aspect of the hero is that it stunts. And stunts in general got like reduced by, what is it, 20% or so. So you can still feel the nerfs, of course. But it is really strong with the Coddle. It has a favorable matchup against the Storm Spirit, or is an old school like pretty decent pick against it. So I can definitely see the reason for it here.
He just scales well, and I really like, you're playing this bigger map, right? When you are able to get that later like Ags, and you have this free pathing, it makes it so easy for you to scout and look for like heroes to find them. Because last game, for example, like EG were playing really hard around this Bat Rider and the Napalm, looking and searching for things. Talon were playing around the Remnants on the Void Spirit to look and just search.
Yeah.
And I think Dragon Knight does a great job with that, especially when he gets his Manta down the line.
For
you
sure.
want to be able to find this Pugner and kill him to start these fights.
For sure.
Do his illusions still get unbeatably tanky if you get the Manta and DK? Is that the
It
thing?
does, but the partner instantly kills it.
Right.
So they do have a somewhat solution to this entire Manta Aghanim self-idea of the Dragon. Now, what Talon has to think again is how do they want to approach the second stage, because once again they have the first pick, so they have to do the blind picks, but now they do not have to pick any stunts or stuff like that. They can just pick a comfortable off-lane combo or safe-lane combo that they're looking for. TV ban seems pretty casual, just an S tier carry right now. They played the last game, I guess 23 Savage wants to take a break.
It's also a very high win rate against the DK. It's actually the highest win rate hero in the game. I know it was on the last patch. I'm not so sure how the matchup is on this one, but I would assume since
Probably
it
changed much.
probably hasn't changed
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, for sure.
It really sucks playing into the reflection when all of your corrosive like damage stuff gets turned back on you.
Yeah,
And,
everything
like,
goes through.
Yeah, like Darkseer as well is another like really good hero for that.
Yeah.
When you make the wall illusion.
It's really hard. Those matchups are just so annoying. You get a dragon spitting on yourself and you basically like cannot move.
Bring back UK mages. Let's do it.
Let's do
do
it.
Come on.
ESL Birmingham! Woo!
Shout outs to the United Kingdom, everyone.
Thanks, Jenkins.
Very disingenuous of you, but I appreciate it. Oh, there's a Naga Siren still in the pool.
Yeah,
She
so
seems to have been pretty popular.
that's really interesting. The Naga and the PL, both of them. I mean, DK is good against those Elysian heroes, like sort of in general, because you have the splash damage and the slow, so that's why they're maybe keeping them in.
Oh, Matthew. Matthew Bounty Hunter.
That's an annoying hero.
Yeah,
What did they change about this hero, Jenkins, that means that now, I mean, we saw Saxa with it the other day. It was disgusting. He got like 12 kills in no time. Hugely wealthy. What did they change to make this happen?
Yeah, so I mean, his Invis stuns at level 1 for 1 second. So you can abuse the cooldown, wait until it's about to come off cooldown, stun somebody, go Invis again, come out of Invis, stun somebody. At level 1, 2-second stun. So this is just one of the best heroes for like laning because of that, running around the map, securing those wisdom runes, securing the mid runes, because you don't know where this guy is, and all of a sudden he comes out of Invis and he stunned you and he steals your rune.
I think that's more than Magic Missile at max level as well.
Yeah, that
2
might be the
seconds.
case. That might be the case.
I mean, obviously that's range, so it is slightly different, but yeah, that's
He's
that's
also,
something.
He's also just obnoxious.
He is.
It's so easy for him to get across the map because of the poles. Like he just can go from side lane to side lane and help get. Like he adds so much kill threat to these lanes. And on top of that, these Tundra have been, and other players, I think Game and 2 have been showing off the Phylactery Bounty Hunter and how that is super obnoxious.
It's so good.
Just getting long range tracked and taking all this damage and slow.
Without even seeing who's tracking.
You don't see him, yeah.
It's kind of crazy. This Beastmaster pick really though, I love it as well. Like I think this hero is incredibly strong right now. I'm actually surprised that they got through second stage. They really protected Stormspirit with 3 position 5 bans. They banned Silencer, Sky Mage, and Disruptor. They did not ban any blind picks for Talon. So I'm really surprised this hero got through. I'm not sure if it was... Actually, I don't remember if it was respected last draft. Yes, it was actually. Last game it was banned. This game they decided not to, so Talon just pick it up. This Beastmaster Coddle lane is not easy to counter.
I mean, similarly, Doom is still available for EG if they want to go down that route.
Yeah, where's the Doom at? Like, it's
a
an
great
interesting
Doom
one.
game.
It's a good Doom game. I mean, you eat the boar, you eat the beast summon, even the ancient creep at level 15.
It's not bad, but I do think that they're going to pick the carry here in this situation. They might still opt for the Doom and give the last pick to carry, but you already see the matchup. You know you're playing against Coddle and Beast, so there's no particular reason to not pick carry and give like another counter pick to your offlaner.
So this is going to be a mid DK we're expecting here with the Beastmaster in the offlane. Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know if 23 Savage plays DK. I'm not sure if they can flex it to the carry. I assume
he probably does. He plays everything.
I was about to say he even plays Pangolier carry against Enigma, so I think he's ready to do it. But I think we can assume that DK will go mid against Storm because they picked him when they saw the Storm Spirit. And I'm just really curious to see now how EG is going to respond to this Beastmaster Coddle lane. Like, even though you see it, your TV is out, which would have been one of the favorite heroes.
Slark.
Okay. Pretty casual hero, still very strong hero in this patch. Hard to catch. And not sure about the lane though. I mean, I'm no expert on this, but I can imagine the lane is still like pretty decent for the Beastmaster Coddle sides here.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, the Beastmaster is spamming axes, trying to build those stacks, and you can't do that versus Slark because he can, you know, purge them. But you're still playing into double nuke in the off lane. That never feels good for Slark. But I think for the game, this does, like, it kills the supports instantly. It munches through these 2 strength heroes, especially the DK. You can get up those stacks. So, and it's also Pakaz's top hero in this tournament.
I was about to say, I think they also just took the last really strong carry that is left in the pool. Like the TV's out, the Alk is out, and they just opted for the third option.
Yeah.
Pango is still knocking about. Do we ever see offlane Pango? Is that a thing?
We do see it on a very few select teams that really love Pango. I think it was like Zeal playing it on LGD, and then there was maybe one other team. I can't remember. It's obviously weaker. They keep like reducing the damage on his like shield crash, for example, which makes it harder for him to secure creeps safely. It's kind of like a game of, oh, if we can just drag waves and get him to his 6, then he's still going to be a really effective offlaner. That being said, I do think he's weaker than a lot of current options. Like Doom is still in the pool.
Doom is literally still in the pool.
Yeah,
it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's probably still in the mind of Talon right now. I think EG will just simply wait to see what carry they're playing against a Talon, then decide from that on. Because their draft is really open. They got a lot of edges covered. They got their safe lane pick, they got the lockdown with the Storm doing action. Like, I think that Whisper can basically play whatever he wants, depending on the enemy carry pick. So also now Talon is trying to set up for the carry pick. I'm also trying to think what they even like. The Bloodseeker gets banned, which would have been a very decent option against the Slark.
I think the Slark's like whole lane that we theorized is saved a lot though by the rest of the heroes on EG, because I think it's very easy for Bounty to come to his lane and help. I think it's very easy for Storm to come and gank. They're probably just going to make a lot of rotations happen to ensure that Slark has a good time.
Oh, what if Talon takes a Doom actually? Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Right?
Yeah.
Don't people like playing Slark into Doom?
Yeah, Pugna's pretty good against it too. You can heal through it.
I am.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Pugna and Storm both suffer mana void problems, don't they? So.
Yeah. I mean, will they do like a hard response here of like, oh, we gotta pick Slardar.
Get the Slardar,
yeah, like,
baby.
get that Slardar. Legion's gone. What do you think?
This hero is very interesting now. Let's see what they pick. They got the Bounty 4. I'm not sure you can run a dual offlane like a Slaughter. I didn't see too much animation since the Vanguard and Battle Fury idea got changed. So I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out. Of course, it has reasons against the Storm and the Pugna for sure. Slark can be annoying for anti-mage though, because you get this Aghanim and you have like a pretty long duration of getting rooted or leashed down. Curious to see what EG is gonna pick against it. What is a classic Whisper hero? There's like this Timbersaw hero, but I think he's not too keen on it anymore.
There's still Darkseer. I think it's like a really good Darkseer game.
I mean, but Darkseer in lane against AM is like really rough.
Yeah, but like I could imagine the idea being that you just shell like yourself and Bounty Hunter, and then you just click him.
Yeah, maybe the
lane
BH changes.
Yeah, the BH Darkseer lane is pretty interesting. And also it's very good against the Dragonite still. It charges your Stark.
Snapfire.
Oh, that's a South American classic. These teams love this hero in Coral.
Oh wow, okay. I'm not sure what to think about that pick though. That's like really special.
I didn't see either of these last two picks coming, in all honesty. Did you guys?
No.
No. Snapfire's not exactly good against anti-mage. It's like pure magic damage hero. But I think the idea is that they just want to be able to let Storm just go in and like own this game with the Pugna, and then you can follow up on all of these initiations with kisses. So I think they just want to kind of overwhelm them early.
Exactly. Like, I think that's the idea behind it too. It doesn't really address the anti-mage too well though at a certain point. Like, EG's draft is very magic damage dependent. I have reason to believe that this AM, if he gets to certain item timings, will run away with the game just because there's no damage on EG.
I will say this, none of her spells can be reflected by AM counters. That's the best thing I can think of.
Starts for a W.
No, the Snapfires.
Oh, the Snapfire.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. That is true, yeah. The lane. I'm really curious about this bottom lane. I'm not sure how this matchup is going to play out between Bounty Snap and...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I can see it being strong. I think Snapfires are decently strong. Like, you get like 2 levels in your Scatter Blast, and you kind of like nuking him. It's not like he wants to max mana the spell shield in lane. You know?
Right.
I'm worried for EG in this game. I do feel like if AM gets to whatever the new item is that replace the Ring of Health, that
Cornucopia?
Cornucopia, yeah.
Cornucopia.
Sure. If he gets to that at a decent timing, or let's say he does go for a Vanguard, he gets to the Ring of Health at a good timing.
Okay.
I do feel like CM AM can destroy this bot lane.
We will see. And to guide us through this game, Suns fan and Synderen, take it away, gentlemen.
Always a pleasure to hear Jenkins try to pronounce new things. He's learning a lot in his life. Still quite the youngster, even though he looks not so much the case. Game number 2, Talon versus EG. Game 1 was a barn burner. Well, not really. I just wanted to say barn burner at a major. It's just an American thing. Maybe you can't relate. But we will be seeing anti-mage final pick, and well, close to final pick. Final pick for them. What team actually picked it? Is that EG? That's right. It was Talon, Synderen.
There you go. It was a 50-50. So you'll get it right next time.
From the
Could have
games
been any team.
The games that we cast of AM.
You mentioned a team that's in the game, so.
I got,
that was
50-50. I always get those wrong.
That's
but
solid.
Anti-Mage, I don't know what the actual win rate is. It has to be kind of low. We've cast a decent amount, and a lot of it was, of course, against Medusa, so maybe that's why it's actually low. But he hasn't really looked that good on this patch. Do you think this is the right game for him?
I mean, this is about as good as it's going to get, right? You're against Storm, you're against Pugna as a secondary potential Mana Void target. The enemy team doesn't have a lot of physical damage, and despite not being ultimate last pick, the enemy didn't have any of the perfect options to run into you in lane either, so they ended up picking Snapfire. So I'm kind of with the panel here. I think if 23 is off to a good start and gets to a good mid game, he can definitely take over the game. That said, though, the EG lineup is the Dire lineup is very momentum-based. So if they run into some sort of early game hot streak with Track and with Storm just running around killing people left, right, and center, they could just outscale the AM, honestly. They can handle him by brute force of just having more gold. I believe we were just informed Antimage has a 25% win rate, so you were right in your assumption that it's not looking too hot.
How many of those were against Medusa?
Yeah.
That is the...
But
it's a bit misleading, probably.
Not many heroes have a good win rate against Medusa, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta put a little bit of pressure here onto Jabs, be annoying in the start, pulling him out from running to the top lane, and actually he might have to TP here, but he can't TP until he's in the tower range because Bounty Hunter can stun him.
Yeah.
So this is a very annoying start for Jabs, to be sure. And the Bounty Hunter's actually not going to be hot on his heals. He has to go bottom to protect Whisper, who is in a similar predicament down here against Crystal Maiden and AM.
Yeah,
Level 1 Frostbite.
In this patch, with the changes made to Bounty Hunter, he feels so much more impactful. In the old patch, it's not like he wasn't good, but it just kind of depended on how the game was going, where now, even if you're losing, he's still going to have big impact with these stuns. Obviously, getting that track level 6 is going to be very important, but yeah, the stun out of Shadow Walk is insanely good. As Makoto in the mid lane, Dragon Knight versus Sea Smiles, Storm Spirit. Once he gets a couple levels of this Dragon's Blood, I assume that he'll be okay, but how does this matchup go in your eyes?
I think from what we've seen in this tournament, the lane itself has gone Storm favored, but the reason you counterpick this hero with Dragon Knight is that it's one of the only instant stuns you can pick out of mid. Nice damage here onto 23.
Lots
Blood
of
Grenade as well. Orb of Venom.
Not enough, question mark? Oh, just out of range. 23 Savage will live.
They do get the earlier level 2 here, though, and that is important in this lane. Snapfire level 2 against AM is really good. He can just go for a cheeky skill point here to Fire Snap Cookie and maybe get a combo off with Matthew.
Yeah, we can see
before the blink
Savage.
point comes up.
He is aware of the possibility
He will get it
of
now.
playing it safe. Matthew is out of mana now. They're looking for one more value stun, but obviously they can see him and avoid all the damage. And I mean, is there any other build that, other than Battle Fury on AM? We saw a little bit of, I think the games that we saw, they still went Battle Fury, other than one where I think Diffusal was picked up because of the Medusa.
I think we had one game with Vanguard Diffusal, and we've seen in the last patch we saw Vanguard Radiance toward the end of that, but obviously the meta has drastically changed with this patch. I want to say most games they just go Battle Fury and sometimes a value Vanguard. I don't think that you do that this game though. I think you're just slowing yourself down for no reason. I think in this game you just want to get really, really farmed as fast as possible, given the hero matchups that you have. So this is not the one to be experimental in.
Yeah, and early on, Makoto in that mid lane, 11-0. C-Smile sitting at 18-2, so he is off to a very good start on the Storm Spirit, which we've seen this hero so many times over the last 8 years, I want to say, that has just gotten off this quick start, and they just never stop.
Time for a Lotus Flower.
Yeah.
Matthew too late on the timing, a little bit of a mistake there, and now he's actually going to pay for it.
Yeah, Blood Grenade used as well, so Matthew trying to get away. Nice cookie, gonna keep them at bay from Whisper's side. He's gonna get drained of all his mana though. So in the end, Talon, I think, are kind of okay with this exchange. They have a sentry there, so they know that Matthew's in the vicinity.
Oh, they should be very happy with that. Getting the Lotus Flower, getting all of Bounty Hunter. Oh, nice Nova there as well from the sentry. So is his... Oh, his sentry's even out of range, actually. Yeah. Matthew placed it incorrectly. Thought the Radiant sentry was higher up. So theirs gets to stay here.
Yep, now they know, though. So Like will be sentryed again in the near future. As Panda getting harassed a bit, but not a whole lot of action in this top lane, which we haven't really talked about too much. Pakaz is playing the Slark this time around, and we'll be facing up against Jabs' Beastmaster. How does this lane typically go?
It has the potential to get very annoying for Slark until level 6. Just Caudle just spamming mana onto the Beast, and you just keep throwing axes at him to harass. They are starting to run out of region top. Interestingly, Q has gone for Luminate over Blinding Light, actually, which is not as common, but their mindset is probably just shove the waves in, push, deal damage, pull side camp whenever possible. That camp has, however, been blocked the whole time by the Dire with the Sentry Ward in the
C-Smile getting completely harassed out of that mid lane. He's slightly behind in terms of the experience. He's been stuck at this level 4 for quite a while as Matthew does what he does best, killing couriers and whatnot. Jabs is going to take a tumble in the top lane, though.
That's first blood.
Indeed.
That will be shared among Panda and Pakaz.
When you're on a team, you want one person to get the first blood, right? It doesn't feel good to share. Am I right?
I mean, it sucks because it didn't play the sound.
That's true.
That morale boost.
Yeah, that audio morale boost.
Yeah. I think it depends. I think sometimes sharing it is actually better because let's say the support is 200 gold away from an item that's going to swing the lane. Then it's really nice to split it. In this lane, I would say probably better to just get it fully on the Slark. But it's all right. They got the kill in the end. That's the most important thing. And now Pakaz gets to enjoy a little bit of solo experience, which is very important. His level 6 has to come early in this lane to stabilize. Matthew will connect onto Q with Panda. Not much more is going to come from this. But again, Pakaz will just be more or less free farming as a result. Now,
Definitely.
Whisper is kind of struggling bottom whenever Bounty leaves, though.
Yeah, that is
Be
fair.
careful.
That's kind of what Bounty has to do. As Makoto pops his Dragon form in the mid lane, gets the Dragon Tail off the time being onto C-Smile. Q is here as well as Ollie. Do they have the control? Illuminate clips him, but should be able to step away. Obviously not quite level 6 yet. I think literally one creep away. Maybe they can turn something around onto Talon once that comes to be. Actually gets denied again, so C-Smile will have to wait slightly longer. As a Frostbite is there on the Matthew. As 3-on-3 mid lane now. Jump in by the Storm. C-Smile focusing now on Makoto, but has to zip back away. But his team members are there to clean up the job, so Makoto does get dropped. And it looks like might be a Crystal Maiden kill as well. She's looking for Matthew, but will likely spell the end of her. So double kill for Panda of all heroes on this Pugna.
Yeah, I can tell you, when you play Pugna support, getting fast arcane boots feels incredible. So I don't think EG minds too much that these kills go on Panda. He's playing a 5 Pugna who's closing in on 7-minute mana boots, and you're just gonna be able to run around, constantly have your spells, play with your teammates, empower them.
For the Wisdom Rune. Who will
Yeah,
get it
he's going
first?
for it. Jabs is there though, on the money. And now Panda is actually in trouble. He doesn't have a T. Oh, he does have a TP, but didn't have mana. Now he does. Frostbite.
Yes, they find him. Good cancellation. And I mean, that's actually worth a decent amount of gold because he did get a double kill earlier. So his net worth is a little bit higher than they normally would see for a Pugna.
If he had insta-TP'd after decrepping, he would have lived, but he ran out of mana for the TP, so he had to recognize that first, then use stick. And that half a second was exactly what all he needed to connect there, so well done from Talon to get a kill out of that situation. Side lanes overall for Talon now going pretty well. You know, Slark is top net worth, he's thriving up there. Snapfire is same net worth as Beastmaster, so considering that Bounty Hunter has been moving around, I think that's also par for the course or better. A very even game right now, and it's a matter of how much pressure can Talon put now that Dragon Knight is 6, Beastmaster is getting his 6. And what is Beastmaster going to build? We haven't seen the quick buy just yet. He has the arcane boots.
Okay. Mortimer's Kiss. He's trying to set up with the stun. Beautifully done, Matthew. I think that was a double Shadow Walk stun.
Did he blink for a CS first and then get caught, or?
Perhaps. Matthew, he's going to get caught out, so it'll cost him his life, but well worth. Although maybe not. Whispers in the area, gets off the cookie.
Now I'm sure.
Yeah, now you're definitely sure because he is in fact 100% dead, but still AM kill is huge for EG. That was surprising. I mean, that's the power of the Bounty Hunter. I mean, he's only level 4, but you can just see the impact.
Yeah, so he had just blinked to the wave here. And that just makes for a free opening for Matthew together with Whisper. Big kill. Slowing down AM is the best thing they can possibly do whenever they get the option to. They should definitely snipe him out. This game is about killing AM, and it's about defending mid-tier 1.
Oh, they want to get Whisper. Frostbite is the initiation for Talon. It's off the cookie. Mana Void does a decent amount of damage, but it is only level 1. Of course, Snapfire
is tanky.
Yeah.
Snapfire now universal hero.
True.
But haven't really seen anyone take much advantage of it. But if you do get to that super late game where Snapfire gets the damage talents,
yeah,
could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But
I would think as a position 3, he's going to want to go for that at some point if the stars align.
Yeah.
But yeah,
currently eyeing up Mech and Ags as his options. The Ags very interesting together with Slark.
Difference of 8-2 bounty.
Yeah,
that is a huge. I mean, that's literally the lead in the game, pretty much from EG side. That just goes to show how well Talon are coping with it, if you will. I mean, that's again. Some of these teams have not been on the ball when it comes to picking up the bounty runes. It might have something to do with the new patch, not being super familiar with all the timings, because you need a calculator at some point to be able to figure out where the hell you're going at what time.
Yeah.
You need to prioritize, you know, those wisdom runes over all else. Tormentors, those watchers, of course, very important. C-Spine will pick up a double damage.
Cost very aggressive here from Slark to run into the enemy triangle right now. Just wants to empower C-Smile and give him some sort of opportunity. Crystal Maiden.
CM is donezo, and Makoto actually pops the Dragon Form, but gets the stun onto C-Smile. Good damage from Whisper, but Makoto
this
takes
is
the
not
tumble.
good for Talon, because first of all, 2 heroes died, and that is not good. Yeah. But their lineup...
Not done yet. Stepping back in, still with the double damage applied. Jabs, one more right click does it. And already a 3K lead for EG. They delete 3 heroes from Talon.
That was also not good for Talon. So here's the problem. You're playing an anti-mage lineup. This hero is going Battle Fury. He needs time. Your other 4 heroes need to be able to either stall or skirmish and win fights, but so far, every single move is just going the way of EG with this Bounty Hunter giving information and just setting up kisses, setting up the storm.
Yep,
get another
again.
kill here.
Stun going to come out, not even needing it, but a track kill there for Matthew. And this is where it gets scary. I mean, they already have this 4K lead, but now the tracks are starting to come online. If they continue to get those kills, it's going to be astronomical lead for EG.
Who do you play around as Talon, right? If you want to fight, are you playing with the Dragon Knight? And if so, how do you kill? You have DK, Maid, and Caudle. Neither support is level 6, 11 minutes in. And Beastmaster is kind of stuck on the other side of the map doing other things, and if he connects and your move fails, you're just losing out on so much efficiency. It's actually really, really difficult for Talon to play the map right now because there's no inherently obvious way of organizing your formation of heroes when the first 10 minutes have gone this poorly. I suppose now that Jabs has mech, maybe you have to connect with the Beastmaster and just look for some sort of, I don't know, 4v4 where you get the Coddle running and you get that heal plus the Beastmaster mech. But Coddle Illuminate is only level 1, so isn't exactly gonna do too much yet. That's quite misleading. This is what this effectively says is Beastmaster doesn't buy mech as his first item. So a bit of a deviation here from Jabs. We've seen most Beastmasters either go Crimson Guard or Helm of the Dominator. In some cases an early pipe, sometimes Drums of Slom. But the early mech is not a common pickup. Now this is a decently fast Battle Fury, but keep in mind, it's a little asterisk on that, which is AM does not have treads. So this timing will look better than it truly is. Most AMs will go treads for more prowess in the laning stage. Sometimes they've gone a value Ring of Health for the first 5 to 10 minutes of laning. Sometimes we've seen Orb of Corrosion in very one-sided matchups where the AM can truly dominate. But in this case, this had to be the build.
I think what they're waiting for is this Blink Dagger on Makoto, who's only 100 away. I think you have to kind of fight, but the problem is, like, how ready is AM to fight with just a Battle Fury? We've seen AMs participate more in this patch, but that's because they go Vanguard first in some cases, which is not this time around. So they kind of just have to wait for 23 Savage to farm, but can they create the space? Dakota getting scouted out by Matthew. There's the track.
That's a long zip. He has Arcane.
Jad is going to take the brunt of it. Mortimer's Kisses is deleting him from the map, and Matthew continuing with the tracks. Ollie looks to be next. Pounce connects from Pakaz, and another easy kill for EG. And just like that, that went from 5K to 7K. And now another zip in from C-Smile. Trying to go on top of Q. Makoto has to pop his Dragon Form to try to save his Coddle, but it's not going to happen.
If that cookie connects, they kill DK as well.
And he's used his DK form, so...
Yep. I mean, we were talking about this pre-game, the potential for Talon's lineup to get AM to a good game state where he can carry, but the early game is this one-sided. You might just never come online. Pakaz bullying him here. Once Pakaz gets Ags, you're even at the mercy of that hero suddenly as AM. Has to play hyper defensive here, has to get the hell out of there with Bounty Hunter as well chasing him out.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue is you're playing from behind, but you're playing against the Bounty that's giving you all this vision.
And it's the Storm plus Gas Station, right? We've seen this many times during the group stage. Just have this Storm that keeps getting mana funneled into him by the Pugna, so he can keep diving and diving and diving, and in this case he even had the Arcane Rune, so very, very easy for C-Smile. And whenever Matthew gives him a support in his view, he can just jump and kill them. There's so little counterplay. It's only the Dragon Tail. If you dodge that one with Ball Lightning, you're good to go.
And this is, I mean, this is getting really ugly.
This is getting
Talon.
dirty. Yep, it is.
Getting out of hand. And in a patch like this where, I mean, we saw them able to steal out the Wisdom Rune as well. It's just going to get worse because they might lose Matthew here. He gets off the pounce successfully onto the Coddle. Matthew will eventually drop, so a kill going the way of Talon. Pakaz in the Dark Pact has another pounce, of course, because of the Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, that is not a good jump in.
He blinks in, but now they're going to take advantage of this with the stun lock and with the damage. Down goes Savage. Ollie gets off a pretty good freezing field, but eventually he will fall as well. Double kill for C-Smile. Make it a triple as EG are starting to run away with this thing. He's out of mana now. No more gas station attendant available to him, but he's still happy with the outcome. Look at these runes, Cinderin.
I have to say, I don't really like this from 23. I don't think he can join fights on AM. As painful as it is, the only contribution you can make to a team fight right now is a mana void on the Storm Spirit. If you ever blink in offensively, they're going to turn on you and kill you with the Slark Axe. So you kind of have to try to keep farming and get Manta. Now this is a timing that's interesting. The early Axe as well. Pakaz, second pounce.
And the stun coming out from Matthew. Just after 23 Savage spawns, he dies again. C-Smile, okay, a nice Dragon Tail. They're not able to set up the Whisper ult as much as they would have liked, but they still will find the kills because they just have such a huge net worth advantage. And healing up C-Smile, giving him mana now as 3 kills again go the way of EG.
What a statement game so far. Like just absolutely running them over. The diving towers, they're playing with so much confidence. Taking advantage of these super mobile heroes they have. The Slark Axe, obviously an incredibly fast timing. He disassembled the Echo Saber to get this even earlier. And then you have that Storm plus Pugna combination with Trax. And all you want to do as EG is just run around and kill people. You get so much gold out of it. It's not even important that you get a lot of CS, but if you do want to look at that, they're also out farming them. So, you know, just the best of both worlds, really, for the EG team. Pakaz.
They are so mobile. They are so mobile.
Yeah.
Second pounce comes out from Pakaz, and they get the track. So more gold the way of EG, who are getting everything that they want. C-Smile with a regen rune. 23 Savage is getting no space to farm right now. They don't connect on the pounce, so 23 Savage is able to blink away. But I mean, if you're preventing him from farming, that's just as good, honestly.
Yep. That was very close, though. That pounce was...
That's a big zip. Regen rune still at its ready. Does not find Ollie here, but Panda runs into one. There's the zip in. C-Smile's gonna get dragon-tailed. I don't think they're gonna have the damage, though, as Panda is here, but there's the Mana Void. C-Smile has to be careful. Getting healed up from Panda is enough for him to get away. And there's the pounce from Pakaz, trying to punish this movement from Talon. So not only do they not get the Storm Spirit kill, they lose another member as the cookie connects. Another zip in from C-Smile. 421. We missed it by one.
Oh, we did have it.
I mean, we had it, but we didn't mention it.
We had
it.
It.
Doesn't count.
We missed the meme number.
EG with a 16K lead. I don't know how Talon can come back from this. The Mana Void is... That's the one thing you have.
That was their best chance, but the problem is he gets a fat Mana Void, but they don't have any more follow-up damage. The Beastmaster wasn't there, and now Mikoto getting soloed by Pakaz.
Ollie gonna get stunned out thanks to the Shadow Walk. Right. Double kill for Pakaz. And another zip in, because why not? Into the enemy base they go. EG destroying in game number 2.
This might just be the smallest any team. I mean, it's definitely the smallest any team's map has been today, 18 minutes in, but just thinking across the tournament, Talon have no space to work with because there's offensive wards from EG, there's Bounty Hunter, and you have Storm and Slark just terrorizing at nighttime. You can barely get out of your base at this point as the Radiant team, and yeah, as being highlighted here now, Matthew with that pipe. If you do find a team fight, what's your damage? You're gonna pipe off the Coddle, you're gonna pipe off the Maiden. Dragons did breathe fire. Yep, and Beastmaster doesn't have damage, right? Because remember what build he went. Jabs went mech, and he's now going pipe, so he's not gonna pack any sort of punch.
Yeah, and you can see Talon kind of just stuck on the sides of the map, if you will, as Matthew's gonna scout it out, and 23 Savage dead again. And you can't blame him. He kind of just has to do this because they are all over the place. So much mobility. Obviously, the Bounty Hunter adding to that with the Invis as Pakaz looking for more stacks of Essence Shift. And he's likely to find it. Dark Pack cakes off the Dragon Tail.
All right, when Slark solos your mid at 19, you have problems.
Yeah. Pounce connects. Ollie, Dunzo. That is 14 permanent Agi stacks for Pakaz.
Too easy for Pakazi.
That's right. Well said, Cinderin.
Close. It could have worked. It sounded better before I said it.
Everything does.
Oh, that's actually true. Oh, well.
And this lead is just continuing to grow. I mean, the one thing they have going for them, does Talon, is EG doesn't really take a Roche that fast. I mean, Snapfire helps, but need a decent amount of net worth. But considering how much map control they have, I would think it would be relatively safe now. As they are going to go for the enemy Tormentor.
Ooh, a steal.
EG just adding insult to injury. And this shard will go the way of Pugna, which...
largely irrelevant this game. There's no enemy illusion carry that you can just kill all of the illusions off with another ward drain.
Oh, maybe Manta will come at some point for 23 Savage, but...
more likely that the life drain will still be used on his Storm, though, at that point.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't want to expend it on your nether ward, but...
Tier 3 tower down. I think Talon, they have to just give this up without losing any members. They just need 23 Savage to farm a bit more. I think a big thing is getting that level 2 Mana Void, which he does now have. Obviously, the Manta would help a lot, but being able to drain the mana of C-Smile into a huge Mana Void, you need like the perfect scenario, it feels like, to get back into this game.
Here comes 23. He TP'd back.
All right.
And his home was wrong.
He's farming.
There's nothing there.
Okay. Well,
They took the barracks and got out.
See Smile, another stolen wisdom rune. They're going to get a stack here of ancients. I mean, from Talon's side, at what point, obviously this is going to be an uphill battle no matter what you say, Cinderin, but is there an item from 23 Savage, like is Manta, like, okay, we need to try with this item?
I mean, it feels like the absolute bare minimum because he can't navigate a fight at all. Every time he jumps in, he just gets controlled by the Slark Storm or even the Snapfire. So Manta is bare minimum, but it's so far away. Like, you still need, what's that, the full ultimate orb? So another 2k gold? Where do you find that on the map? He's trying his best, but I think EG don't care, and they're just going to go straight mid now and force him to join the fight again.
Yep.
Roshan is not a requirement when you're this far ahead. It's actually just slowing you down probably to just go there. So don't bother. Keep constricting the map. And don't let Talon get any sort of foothold. Mid tower.
Yep, that's next on the menu as we're going to see the Gobble Up use. Makoto taking the Mortimer's Kisses now, gets Electric Vortex back in. Jab's literally turning his back to his ally because he knows there's nothing he can do.
Well, he did what he could. He used the pipe.
He turned his back, popped the pipe. Solar Crest now online for the bounty. And EG looking for their second set of racks and looking for a Game 2 victory, which will mean that they will face off against OG tomorrow if they're able to finish this game.
And we'll put them at a guaranteed top 6 finish.
Yeah, very impressive, especially considering how they looked early on in the tournament. They were slow adopters, or adapters, I guess is the right word, to this patch, but they have definitely caught on since then.
Oh,
Zip back
boy.
in. That is a dead ollie right next to your tier 4 towers, in fact.
See Smile has been styling this game 13-0-5. Adding C Style to his list of nicknames.
He has
As
too
we
many
have
nicknames
approached.
to keep track of at this
And what's that? 1,100 net worth per minute lead for EG now? 27k,
point. Yeah.
24 minutes in.
Yeah.
Pretty much insurmountable, and Talon has been exceptionally quiet the entire game, just haven't found any sort of
not that
handle on the
this
map.
is just a symptom of the issue, but the bounty runes that they keep showing, they've been stuck on 2 since the beginning of the game.
Wait, do they still only have 2?
They only have 2.
Yeah.
That just shows you how much EG is constricting the map right now.
Look at the top half. There's some, they could get some more.
Yeah, they could.
There's more bounty runes in the Dire Jungle, but guess what? They haven't been playing up there for 12 minutes.
Yeah. There's quite a few, and this might be the last-ditch effort from Talon. They're smoking up. The zip in from C-Smile. Nice initiation thanks to the Gobble Up. They delete CM, buys back into the game. Now the focus is on the Beastmaster. You can see EG taking very little damage. So that will lead to the tier 2 tower in the bot lane. And next up, Mega Creeps. Maybe Roche, we'll see. Knowing that Talon are gonna almost certainly fight to defend these Mega Creeps, maybe the Aegis is worth it, or maybe not. It is a 30k lead at 25 minutes, for God's sake.
Oh.
Yep, big zip in from C-Smile, and just like that, down goes Coddle. CM is next. Makoto in his dragon form, not gonna be able to do too much. Gets off the dragon tail, but you have 3 members dead for the foreseeable future.
Smile.
Just smile. You're about to lose. Zip back into the mid lane to kill those creeps. Gobble up on top of 23 Savage. Into the stun from the Shadow Walk.
He's got
and
Mantle.
23 Savage. He does. It's a pretty big one. He's going to fall likely afterward. No, C-Smile's the one that might drop. Zipping away. Looks like he will somehow live throughout this engagement. And there is your gas station.
All right,
and,
if that Mana Void doesn't do it, what will?
Exactly.
Yeah.
GGs
It's
are
over.
called. EG absolutely stomping game number 2.
Utter domination. I mean, where do you want to even start with this game? I think you start with the first 10 minutes and then there's just nothing left to talk about. The whole map just fell apart so fast. The Bounty Hunter, the Storm, and the Slark, in, I want to say tandem. I mean, it's the 3 of them, but also Whisper got very involved on that Snapfire last pick. We weren't sure how good it was going to be. Turns out it did exactly what they needed it to. Find a couple of picks with the Mortimer Kisses together with the Bounty Hunter, together with that Storm Spirit pull, and they made it look so easy. This is, at this level of play, when a team can pull off this kind of performance to get into the top 6, these guys are going to be scary for any team to play when they can play games like this.
Yeah.
So clean, basically no mistakes, great draft, great laning. And the biggest part about it, at least from us and the panel's perspective, this wasn't obvious that it was going to go this way. You couldn't just inherently say it when the draft was over, oh man, they're going to get slaughtered, you know? They just outplayed them at literally every turn in the game.
It does feel like on some level,
win.
because of how fast this patch is feeling in these two teams, like AM is just quite slow. Like not even able to get to a point where you can even contribute in fights at all. Just feels really bad for Talon. Obviously, they played very well at this tournament, this game too. Not exactly the indication of how fast they picked up this patch. Very respectable finish in the end, but yeah, EG just, in that game too, at least on another level for sure. As yeah,
EG will be champions one day. It could be in 2 days.
Yeah, could
They
be.
need to win another 4 series?
They have to beat OG.
3 or 4?
They've already vanquished the original EG, aka Shopify Rebellion. So they've definitely got a lot to be proud of so far, but they're not done yet. And we have yet to see South America in a finals, right? So that is the dream.
And it's worth keeping in mind that the game that you just saw against Talon is almost a carbon copy of what happened in one of the games against Shopify. They got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah.
So this isn't a rarity for EG. They've been doing this in multiple games, even in the playoffs. So they are definitely on a heater and a team to keep your eyes on. Don't count these out for a potential top 3 run this time around, which would be, I think, South America's best placement ever at a major. I don't think top 3 has happened.
Yeah, I think top 3 has...
4
they
may
got
have
top 4
happened?
maybe? That's my... I mean, you're asking the wrong guy, but I think that's correct. I'll just assume you're...
I am asking the wrong guy, absolutely.
But yeah, the game number 2 goes to EG, so they take this series. They'll face off against OG tomorrow.
Thank you, Suns fan and Synderen. What a